Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Not to worship you. Listen. Should you bill me for grace? Can I even pay? So what would I do if not to worship you? Lord, I give to you my alabaster. And what can I do if not to lift my hands? Lord, I offer you my alabaster. Say, do I have a reason not to worship? Should you bill me for grace? Can you and I pay? So what else can we do? If not to worship, Lord, I bring to you my alabaster. Do I have a reason not to worship? Should you bill me for grace? Do I have the money? What would I do if not to worship you, Lord? Lord, I bring to you my Allah. What can I do if not to worship? Lord, I offer you my Allah. Hey, are you ready with me? Yeah.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
I will worship him, my Allah. Everybody lift your voice and say, when he found me, I will worship my love. Hey, come on, lift your voice. Say you were in there. When he found me, I will worship my love. My love. Come on, let's go. Say you were in there. When he saved me, I will worship my love. My love. One more time. You were. When he saved me, I will worship my love. Come on, lift your voice with me. Lift your voice. Give God the fruits of your lips. Give him all the glory that he deserves. Give the Lord of God a most high. We give you all the praise. My love, my love. Yeah. Where would I be? Where would I be? Where would I be? This is the fragrance of my life. Nobody else. I will give you a lot of praise. Hey.
6:27. Welcome to Wednesday, the 28th of June, 2023. This is the Citi Breakfast Show live on your dial 97.3 FM. It's a holiday. It's Eid al-Adha. Happy Eid to all our Muslim friends and brothers and sisters. Grab a seat and let's have breakfast on this holiday. Join us on the number 0549 986 996. On Twitter at Citi973, hashtag CitiCBS. A wonderful way to start the show. Music coming from Dennis. Calls this one My Alabaster. My name is Nathan Kwao, sitting in for Bernard Avler. It's always an honor and a pleasure bringing you the biggest breakfast in town. Start off with our business sense brought to us by ADB. ADB is asking if you are a paid employee or you are a salaried worker. It doesn't matter what you do. If you need a personal loan to resolve your financial issues, talk to ADB. They are offering you a variety of personal loans, including top-up loans at significantly reduced interest rates. Now, you also enjoy a longer tenure of up to 6 years, and the offer is open to non-customers as well. Kindly visit the nearest branch or call 0302 210 210 or 0302 224 043. ADB, the People's Bank, ADB, Truly, Agric, and more. Our business sense today is a very interesting one. It says, failure is nothing more than a chance to revise your strategy. Failure is nothing more than a chance to revise your strategy. You know, for a lot of people, they think that failure is the end. Failure is fatal. I fell short, so that's it. I'm not trying again. But it's actually a chance for you to look over those notes, look over your plan, and see where you went wrong. Because clearly, if you failed, it means that something along the chain went wrong. It doesn't mean the entire process is wrong. Maybe one or two steps did not give you the result you wanted. So it's a great opportunity to step back, go over everything, and start again. Now, there's a very famous story of Thomas Edison who tried and tried and tried before he got the light bulb going. And along the line, also, either than in one of his experiments, he tried about 8,000 times to get one particular thing to work, and it wasn't working. And his assistant asked him that, Mr. Edison, why don't we just stop and move on to something else? He says, no, at least now we know 8,000 things that won't work. So let's move on to, the next attempt to see whether or not that will come off. That's how you should see it. Failure is not the end. It's not fatal. It's just an opportunity for you to see what did not work, to revise your strategy, get things together, and succeed. Think of it like writing an Excel function. If you write that function and it gives you a 0 or it doesn't give you the result you want, you get a chance to revise that function and you realize that something just wasn't working well or something wasn't done right or placed right. So failure is not fatal. When you fail at something, it doesn't mean that it's dead. It means that you get a chance to start again or revise your strategy, tweak a few things, give it another go. Then the success will come in. That's our business sense for the morning. Brought to us by ADB. ADB, the People's Bank, ADB, Truly, Agric, and more. The newspaper review comes up next. This is still the Citi Breakfast Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
La 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 anyalandan tarma ayinin kambagariga pala yazo damzo yurulzo ayi bizore na wuni mambore na wuni nusakandale ama sokayingala tilanta bakade maltiti zae tichali chiri kuni taba the Daba, the Tinte Manjilima, Sudo, Yurulum, the Garisalema, Chaka the Garisa, Suni, the Yakabaka Tole, Kadikim Garatole, Jejuro, Ayuma, Kayuma, the Marasudo, Ayuma, Kayuma, the Marasudo, Ayuma, Kayuma. The Malasudo, Kayuma, the Malasudo, the apple kayilitare some taba, Kizari Tabatini, Nayuma, Kabayu, Koyo, Kizari Tabatini. Get to love one another and live in peace. The Africa you let us on taba. Why to say you taba to me? Koi baba koi. To song matara, kajun yatara, Africa puni, to you yatara. Nika song me.
Needy, don't be greedy. Ayuma can you add in reality? So chin to maltiti. To Munafiki is a real pity. I'm from a North City. I eat yam and Sam and Bra and Mankuni. Like Bang for life, we always right. The people I do check out in Kuge. I know my roots, so you know you can't fool me. To Champuni, to Wamdamba, to Jera, to Jizamba, we'll get better. Adam Gomda.
Ayuma, Kayuma, the Malasudo.
6:36. R2Bs with Sharifa Gunu. The song titled Suhudo. I don't even know what it means, but this song is on my playlist. Anyway, the newspaper review comes up next. Well, that's the official name of the segment, but there are no newspapers today. So yeah, we'll be checking out the portals. Nonetheless, the segment is brought to us by Fidelity Bank. Now, the Fidelity Edrapa account is here to help. If you are a business owner, that's the account you need. You get great things going with that account. You get a convenient payment and cash collection option. You get access to competitively priced loans. You get a dedicated relationship officer, free insurance cover of up to 48,000 cedis, free inter-account transfer, and free subscription to our e-banking platforms. Join hundreds of businesses that have already signed up to the Fidelity Edrapa account, and it might just be your best decision yet. Dial *776*0# or visit fidelitybank.com.gh today to sign up for a Fidelity Edrapa account. Remember, T's and C's apply. The segment is also brought to us by Total Energies. They've brought quartz engine oil formulated with age-resistance technology that helps your engine function very, very well. Now, it will protect your engine against mechanical wear by up to 74%, even under the most extreme temperature and pressure. Choosing Quartz from Total Energies is choosing the engine oil that keeps your engine running efficiently and effectively. Quartz keep your engine younger for longer. Let me welcome Richard De La Sky to the studio. Richard, good morning. How are you doing?
My man. Charlie, good morning, my brother. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, Charlie, we did chop salad today. You know salad?
Yeah.
Yeah, we go chop salad meat. Umar Sanda has promised us a bucket load of, cow meat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that in a certain part of this country or in certain parts, they will not be able to chop meat because there's still a ban in force because of the unfortunate outbreak of anthrax in the northern part of the country, the extreme north.
Yeah.
So Baraka de Salah to all my good friends, our listeners, our brothers, our sisters who are celebrating today as a special day on the calendar of Muslims. We wish you all the best. We wish that greater things will happen in your lives, and you will continue to contribute your quota to building our country, and that bad things will go away and new fortunes will find us. So greetings to Umar Sanda Amadou of Citi FM and all the brothers here at Citi FM and sisters here who are Muslims, and also regards to Shamima Muslim, Al-Haji Uthman, the husband, the Honorable Katie Hammond, my good friend, the Honorable Abdul Rashid Topo, Haruna Idrisu, all these big names who are contributing their quota to building Ghana and making it a better place. May God, Allah, continue to bless you and find you and meet you at the point of your needs. Yes.
All right. We wish them the very best today. They'll be enjoying themselves.
Salami, it be brutal. Especially the one with the tea and with it be hard, no. The hard one, Charlie.
Charlie, but I know the hard one.
Charlie, the bill. When you fire some,
Charlie, chop himself. That's hard.
That's the whole idea. So you prepare taddy, then you put it inside. You this thing, that taddy, the one you over push it and then you put down for inside. You warm them so that the oil will be boiling inside. So if you drop her inside, it will be So Charlie, let the meat flow. Yeah, so let's go into the portals for this morning. And where do you want us to start off?
Let's start off citynewsroom.com.
Newsroom.com.
And there's only one place to begin.
Charlie. We are going to the Asin North constituency. If you go to citynewsroom.com, I was treated unfairly. Jachi Kwesen is speaking after by-election victory. Also, another story that is featuring strongly on the website is Komog urges MPs to ensure swift passage of anti-gay bail. Another story still in the Asin North constituency is my victory is dedicated to justice and Ghana, quoting Jachi Kwesen. Another story on that election says Jachi Kwesen secures landslide victory in Asin North by-election. Another story, this time quoting the MPP side of things, Asin North by-election, John Boydu downplays vote buying allegations. And then also stories about the arrests that were made yesterday.
Okay.
If you move on from there, you go to myjoyonline.com. Again, they are doing a lot of stories on Asin North by-election. This one says that Asin North by-election, our polling agents are being arrested in our strongholds. One of the stories featuring on the page. Another says that Asin North by-election, the money NPP and NDC have spent can construct 30 factories. This one is quoting Kofi Apalo. I've already argued that let's scrap by-elections because they have outlived their usefulness. They are just corrupting the system. Our institutions are unable to enforce the laws. Ideally, that's what they should be doing. They are not doing it. So people are having a field day.
But it means that constituency will not get representation.
No. I think when you scrap it, there's a process I've recommended that you replace it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've written an article.
Okay,
on it.
I think the other day you mentioned it,
Yeah,
that
so-
whoever came second in the poll,
Yeah, it depends on the circumstances. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
another MP can take up that constituency.
Yeah. Alternatively, you have someone who is from the same party taking over the seat. I've mentioned quite a number of. If you go to graphic.com.gh, police detained 5 individuals involved in disruptive act during the Asin North by-elections. One of the stories there. Of course, the big story is Jachi Kwesin wins Asin North by-election with 57.56% of the votes cast. Again, there is another story that says House to debate anti-gay bill. 5 ministers respond to questions on the floor of Parliament. Another story is on Hajia for real. You mentioned this yesterday. She having done some, I think it was TikTok live.
It was an Instagram live.
Okay. This story says Hajia for real plans to be in Ghana in July of this year. Alexander Jiku on Nottingham Forest radar and related matters also making the headlines in the graphic.
All right. If you go to citybusinessnews.com, they say aggrieved Gold Coast Fund Management customers demand probe into Yoko over missing server. Hey. Other stories. Auto Assemblers Association urges government to fast-track key policies for industry growth. And on the City Business Festival, 8 insights from Forum on Agribusiness Ecosystem. And the Gersal CEO says Ghana needs innovative solutions to unlock agricultural potential. Also, Professor Roger Canton from the same program yesterday on City TV. Ghana must adopt clear agrarian policy to increase agricultural production. So those are stories on citybusinessnews.com. If you go to citysportsonline.com, last night was a horrible night for the Black Meteors. They lost 5-1 to Morocco.
How?
In the under 23.
How can they beat us 5-1?
Charlie.
Is it 5-1 or 5-2?
5-1.
5-1.
Yeah.
Oh, not even 5-4, 5-3 or something. No, that's embarrassing.
The Meteors, if you watch the
mean,
game,
yeah,
they were not at the level of the Moroccans. They were not at all. Other stories. Samatex players will dominate national teams in near future. Anyaba, who's an official of Samatex. And the Ghana Basketball Association president says, we are not sleeping, but working harder. And then in the UK, Wilfred Zaha, rapper Stormzy, and one other person agreed to take over AFC Croydon.
I see.
Now, Crystal Palace is
Croydon.
in Croydon, for those who do not know.
Yes.
It's in Croydon. So the 3 gentlemen have come together to own a club. Very interesting times.
That's good to know.
In terms of football.
Football.
There. And if you go international, the BBC says, countdown has begun to end of Putin, says Kiev officials.
Who is saying that?
So some Ukrainian officials are saying,
so
hey, are they sure? Other stories. Ukraine in maps. Counter-offensive makes slow gains. And anger in Paris after police kill teen in traffic stop.
Tragic story, man. Very chilling.
Very,
the police
very,
were
very,
initially peddling falsehood, but video cameras captured the development, and that exposed the lie to the claims that they were making.
Okay.
Let me bring you back home. There are other stories, the websites that I want to take you to quickly. If you go to the GNA, in fact, for a long time we've not been actually paying attention to the GNA. They are in some of the remotest parts of this country, and we should pay a close attention to what they put out there. So this morning, just to mention some of the news stories making the headlines on their website, gna.org.gh. So they have Asin North by election tension rises again amid vote buying allegations and all of that making the front page. They spoke about how the police have dealt with the situation and all of that. Again, there are some articles here about who actually was going to win the by-election. Of course, now we do know the outcome. And then also we must safeguard civil public services from political actors is another story. The editors speak dealing with matters of this country. And then also overburdened household chores contribute to poverty among indigenous women. This is also another important story. And they have fantastic, infographics on the CD dollar situation in the country. They also have some numbers on inflation and monetary policy rate matters. So if you're interested in these hard numbers, you know where to go to pick some of these stories and read for yourselves. Another story here says shortage of maize seed disrupts planting in the Sisala area. And then the next big advantage in cancer treatment could be a vaccine. So that is another story on GNA. And if you go to asasiradio.com, NDC's Jachi Kwesum wins as Asin North seat again. And then you have other stories. For instance, one says, consider files for Ido Ada. Government says environmental health director.
Okay.
So I guess we have to now go into the details of what the portals are saying.
All right.
So we go straight into the Asin North constituency, where Jachi Kwesum is the man being celebrated after he knocked out the MPP's challenger. The MPP's challenge from is it Charles Opoku, right?
Yes.
Now the story on the website is by Letitia Osei, and she says James Jachi Kwesum, the re-elected member of parliament for the Asin North constituency. You see, we should not be re-elected. Well, the election didn't happen in the first place, according to the Supreme Court.
So
technically, he has now been elected. Yes. Member of Parliament for the Asin North constituency in the just ended by-election has taken a dig at the governing New Patriotic Party following his victory. Now, at the end of the by-election on June 27, 2023, Mr. Kwesum polled 17,245 votes, representing 57.56% of the total votes cast to beat Charles Opoku of the New Patriotic Party NPP and Benny of Liberal Party of Ghana LG. Now, Charles Opoku polled 12,630 votes, representing 42.15% of the total votes cast in the hotly contested by-election, while the LPG's Benes Enyonam Sepenu polled a paltry 87 votes, representing 0.29% of the votes. There's a direct quote here attributed to the elected member of parliament. This is a victory not just for myself, it's for the people of Asin North, and in fact, for the whole of Ghana. Hopefully, one day, we will pursue a good direction of justice. Politics is not about sharing of money to citizens to get votes. It's about development, and democracy is about development. And now he assured his that he will share, they will have a fair share of the national brodo.
So
brodo, some still there.
No, maybe some still there. Anyway, well, I mean, there are other stories on citynewsroom.com, but these stories, of course, punctuated the coverage. So as and when things were happening, so there were stories like NDC observers accused MPP of firing shots at Asin Prasu.
Yep.
You see, now this was written by Hansen Ajiman, and it was all in the course of the by-election there, and there were videos, all kinds of videos circulating and all of that. So at least dust it has settled on that by-election. James Jachi Kwesum is going to Parliament, and he'll be representing good people of the Asin North constituency. On the show, I'm sure we'll get into that. We'll talk about it a bit and maybe try and understand how this happened. In terms of the polls, though, the opinion polls going into the by-election, Global Info Analytics, said it was too close to call because none of the two gentlemen even got 50% in global, from the polls. So
and the number of people who said they were undecided, very, very, significant in the numbers that they churned out. So yeah, they actually said that, I mean, given the numbers, the MPP had a favorable chance of winning. In terms of the absolute sense of the numbers that they had produced, but the issue, the details were actually in the people claiming that they were undecided, or those who said they were not going to tell who they were going to vote for. So when you hear people say
5,000 difference, 5,000 vote difference. Anyway, to other stories, the Ministry of Roads and Highways is set to engage the National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union on Thursday, which is tomorrow, over an indefinite strike declared by the group.
Okay.
Now, the National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union declared a sit-down strike on Monday due to the deteriorating conditions of roads leading to the various depots in Takoradi Tema and Kumasi operated by BOST. Now, although the government had assured that the roads would be fixed, the group says it would not, or said it would not call off the industrial action until work on the road began.
Okay.
Now, Sunday Alabi, who's vice chairman of the union, told City News that their safety was of utmost priority to them, for which reason they would only go back if the roads were fixed. So it looks like they are standing their ground.
Yeah.
And they want to see. Yeah, they want,
No man now.
they want to see something concrete
Yeah, that's
from
good.
the state before they also back down.
Okay, so let me take you to Parliament now, because there is a story on graphic.com.gh which says House to debate anti-gay bill and 5 ministers to respond to questions. The story features the photograph of the Honorable Frank Anodompre, who is the minority chief whip, and it says the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Kingsford Sumana Bagbin, has directed the Business Committee of the House to schedule a debate on the promotion of proper sexual human rights and Ghanaian family values bill 2021 for either today, which is today, or Thursday, right?
But today being a
No, I
holiday.
think it ought to have been yesterday, yeah. So the bill was presented to Parliament on March 31, 2023, by the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee of Parliament, chaired by the Honorable Kwame Anyimedu Entry, who is also the New Patriotic Party Member of Parliament for the Asante Achim Central in the Ashanti region. Now, the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osewusu, announced this to the House during deliberations on the business statement presented by the Majority Chief Whip and MPP MP for Nsawam Edwijiri constituency in the Eastern Region, Frank Anno Dompre. So that is one story there from Parliament. But I think we should also look at the stories regarding something I saw about Salah meat, because today is Salah Day, right? And there is an aspect who is quoted here by the GNA as saying that people should eat chicken and all of that. So I think I'll get you that story when you finish with.
Okay. All right. Let's do some business stories. And now the aggrieved customers, and this story is on citybusinessnews.com, and it says aggrieved customers of Gold Coast Fund Management demand probe into Yoko over missing server. Now, the aggrieved customers of Gold Coast Fund Management is calling, or they are calling, for an investigation into the Economic and Organized Crime Office, as it turns out, for their inability to produce a server needed for an ongoing court case. In a statement issued by the aggrieved customers of Gold Coast Fund Management, its convener, Charles Nyame, noted that the server, which belonged to the company, contained backup data of investors and was confiscated by the Yoko after the company's operational license was revoked in November 2019. But during a court session or a court hearing held on June 21 on the liquidation case between the Registrar of Companies and Black Shield Capital Fund Management Limited, it was revealed that the server in Yoko's custody had gone missing. So that's why they want Yoko to answer questions on the said server if it really contains all the info the group is alleging that the server holds as we speak. So that's a bit of an update there. Very, very troubling one indeed.
This is why should a server in your possession just walk out of the room like that and say bye-bye? Or nobody even saw the server moving out. They'll say, "Oh, where are you going? Are you coming back, or you going forever?" I mean, no, Yoko, you need to do better than this, please. If these allegations are true, this will be really, truly unfortunate and embarrassing. You must do everything possible to find these things. I believe they have a room that is dedicated for keeping exhibits and all of that. That's the standard practice, the procedure in all these institutions. And if it's possible for these things to just work out like that, that would be very. I mean, it's just like the Kokunte powder we saw subsequently after the police had put, cocaine as exhibits in their evidence room at the CID headquarters. Please, let's stop these things. Yes, the story about chicken, which is to Mark Salah, is actually on asasiradio.com, and it says, consider fowls for Eid al-Adha, says Environmental Health Director. Now, it says that the Environmental Health Director is basically for the Greater Accra region. Douglas Tego has advised the Muslim community to consider using fowls for the celebration of this year's Eid al-Adha. Now, Tego, in an interview with the Ghana News Agency, so they are quoting the Ghana News Agency or telling the story from there, on the outbreak of anthrax in the country, said such an alternative has become necessary to curb the spread of the disease. Now, two communities, Talensi and Binduri, in the Upper East region, recorded cases of anthrax in May. Now, this led to the death of 20 sheep and 4 cattle, with several others infected. Now, one person is reported dead after consuming meat from an infected animal. Now, Tego said to be on the safer side, the Muslim community must consider other alternatives. Now, anthrax is caused by Bacillus some anthracis bacteria, and affects both humans and animals. Now, people who come into contact or direct contact with the infected livestock, such as cattle, sheep, and goats, or their byproducts, are at the risk of contracting anthrax. So, those of us who are celebrating with our Muslim brothers today, please, let's take note of this. And if it is possible, let's go for the alternative.
Okay, all right. A few quick stories before we head out. In Ukraine, they are saying that Putin's time as Russian leader is coming to an end. That's according to Andriy Yermak, who's President Zelensky's closest advisor. Okay, and he said that if he looked at the evolution of the conflict, he could say that it was gradually the curtains were coming down on Putin's time in charge there. So those are some of the stories coming in. And then if you go to South Korea, there's a very interesting story that says South Koreans have become a year or two younger as a new law aligns the country's 2 traditional age counting methods with international standards. So they are realigning their counting. So people have to revise their ages officially in South Korea. All right, that's our news review for the morning. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, coming up next is the Citi Business News.
You know your papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, papa!
Bobo, so how your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
You've started your small business and have all these big dreams, but then reality strikes and there are so many things to do at once. What you need is the Ejapa account from Fidelity Bank. The Ejapa account gives your business a boost. It comes with a range of payment and cash collection options, such as GHQR, mobile money collection, and mobile teller cash collection. You will also enjoy prompt FX supply, competitive interest rate on loans, and free annual insurance cover of up to 48,000 Ghana cedis for your business, plus a waiver on service fees. It's time to do good business with Fidelity Bank.
Dial *776*0# or visit www.fidelitybank.com.gh to sign up for a Fidelity Ejapa account today, because together we are more. Terms and conditions apply.
Fidelity Bank, believe with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
All right, coming up next is the Citi Business News. On a holiday, Nila Telate is here with the details.
Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN Goil and powered by our most comprehensive business news website, citibusinessnews.com. Let's get straight Into the details of our stories this morning, and the Ministry of Energy is courting the support of international oil and gas companies to rally behind government in its attempt to rope in indigents in the oil and gas industry. Well, according to the ministry, this move will not only ensure the full implementation of the localization policy, which seeks to build the competencies of Ghanaians in the sector. Speaking at the 2023 Upstream Job Role Localization Conference here in Accra, a Deputy Minister of Energy, Herbert Crapper, says employment for the locals in the oil sector will ensure a win-win for both government and the international companies.
Vision as a government is to see an upstream petroleum sector that does not contribute to our GDP only in terms of revenue generation, but also in terms of significant sustainable jobs for our people. I urge international oil and gas companies and international service companies to complement government's efforts in this regard by offering available job roles to Ghanaians and helping them to build on their skills and experiences. They may require a little hand-holding at the initial stages, but ultimately, it will pay off for you because employing Ghanaians is a win-win for you and for us. It will significantly reduce your operational costs compared to employing expatriate workers. And the Ghanaian has proven time and time again to be a reliable, dependable hand in every endeavor. Your contribution to job role localization is urgent to increase the Ghanaian people's participation in our oil fields whilst you increase your earnings.
That was a Deputy Minister of Energy, Herbert Crapper. Now, the coalition of individual bondholders group is demanding the payment of the outstanding principals and matured coupons by the close of this week. The group, made up of the Ghana Individual Bondholders Forum and the Individual Bondholders Association of Ghana, explains that an MOU was signed to ensure that government makes payment. Weeks later, government is yet to fulfill this promise. In a statement cited by Citi Business News, the group bemoaned government's inability to make payments. Away from that, and the Ghana Cocoa Board has expressed its commitment to enhancing the livelihoods of cocoa producers by ensuring an improvement in the producer price. Some cocoa farmers recently cautioned the government to immediately increase the price of cocoa, or they will continue to sell their cocoa farms for galamsey activities. But Chief Executive of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boain Edu, is pleading with cocoa farmers to exercise patience as it is doing its best to increase prices.
Went down and we maintained our price up. At some point, we even increased by 28%. By 28%. And Cocoa Board had to go and borrow and then absorb all that shock. You see? So we have to be very, very careful with the pricing mechanism. Yes, we know the exchange had actually caused a lot of hurt to our farmers. But the point is that now we are going to another, season. And thankfully, prices at international markets, are going up. It's a 7-year record. We haven't seen this price before, which means that the price is definitely going to change. And of course, it means that it's very obvious. Even we don't need anybody to come and we don't need anybody from anywhere to come and tell us that you have to increase it. It's obvious because price 7-year record. Ever since price fell, this is the first time that we have seen these prices. Price around 2008, 3000 were heard of, in 2016, 2015.
Joseph Boain Edu is Chief Executive of Cocoa Board. Now, the fourth and last forum of the 2023 edition of the Citi Business Festival focused on the agriculture value chain. It featured speakers who discussed understanding and leveraging agribusiness value chains and how the sector's advantages can be tapped. Here is a wrap of the forum.
The panelists took turns presenting different perspectives on government's agricultural potential. Kwesi Korbo, CEO of Gesell, believes that the policy direction to make agriculture more pragmatic must be mainly pushed by the private sector.
The problem we have in this country is that if you don't address the problem accurately and you come up with any set of interventions, you create more mess than you did before. And where's the problem? Because as a country, we want to be food sufficient.
Professor Roger Canton, former research scientist of the Savannah Agricultural Research Institute, SARI, cited seed provision, mechanization, and transportation as critical areas for the sector's revitalization.
There are areas that we should target for, like the socialists have shown. For maize, we are now adding soya bean. We have the capacity, right? So you leave them and support that value chain there.
Head of Agribusiness at APSA, William Nete, stated that financing possibilities exist for those who wish to leverage agriculture.
Right from the input dealers, there are opportunities. So a young person like Alberta said can go into input sales.
Still on opportunities, Agric advocate and AgriHouse Foundation founder Alberta Akosa encouraged the youth to discover more creative and new ways to venture the farming business.
I want maybe the listeners who are especially young to know that there are lots of opportunities with the value chain. They can go into the production straight away.
Alberta Akosa, Agric advocate and founder AgriHouse Foundation, ending that report. Still on the Citi Business Festival and head of Agribusiness at APSA Ghana, William Nete is encouraging businesses to prioritize quality packaging to facilitate the growth of their businesses. William Nete explains that packaging is a crucial area that can help Ghanaian exports compete with other products from across the world. Speaking on the honor series of the 2023 Citi Business Festival on the topic, financing opportunities in agribusiness, he also urged businesses to invest in it to ensure that they reach a high level of quality which the customers will appreciate.
So we've had discussions recently on packaging, and we've talked to our partners about it and told them that, look, it's a very key area that we need to look at. Look at the food that we eat. Presentation forms a major part. When you go to a hotel, you may have to pay maybe 3 times what you pay if you bought it somewhere else. It's just about the presentation and the packaging. And we think that has to be considered. And so we've had some discussions on them. So packaging is key because that is what will also take what the farmers have done, add value to it, and then present it in a way that will cause the value to increase.
Touching on the key criteria his outfit and other financial institutions consider before lending to businesses, he also assured that the bank is prepared to offer its support to businesses within the agribusiness space with significant growth potential.
The opportunities are great for Ghanaians, and we need to jump in there. Like I mentioned, the market is open and is ready for investment, and we as a bank, like I said, going back to our brand proposition, that we are empowering Africa's tomorrow together, one story at a time. And we want to pull everybody along, whether you're in the village, whether you're in the city, whether you are starting. I mean, when we look at unsecured lending, which is, the under the 10%,
William Nete is the head of agribusiness at APSA. The full interview on the topic, financing opportunities in agribusiness, comes off at 9 a.m. on the Citi Breakfast Show. The 2023 edition of the Citi Business Festival is powered by Citi TV and Citi FM in partnership with APSA and is proudly sponsored by MTN Momo, MTN Business and ZPay with support from Gesal. On the interbank foreign exchange market, where banks trade amongst themselves, the dollar gained a peso and is selling at 11 cedis. The British pound gained 2 pesos and is selling at 14 cedis. The euro also gained 2 pesos and is selling at 12 cedis, 1 peso. However, at some forex bureaus in the capital, the dollar is selling at 11 cedis, 75 pesos, while the British pound is selling at 15 cedis and the euro is going for 12 cedis, 75 pesos. Let's now join Gillian Ham of Data Bank for part 1 of the topic, what is a Treasury bill?
Treasury bills, otherwise known as T-bills, are among the most popular investments in Ghana. However, despite the high demand for them, many people don't understand how they work. Treasury bills are short-term loans the government takes from the investing public to finance various projects. You can choose to purchase it for 91 days, 182 days, or 364 days. Because T-bills are guaranteed by the government, it is considered very safe and therefore is usually used as a benchmark against which other investments are compared. The return on a treasury bill is annualized, meaning it is quoted to reflect a 12-month period. So if you purchase a 91-day T-bill and you're quoted a rate of return of 12%, as an example, you should only expect to receive a quarter of the return, therefore 3%, because the T-bill will only run for 3 months. If the rate is 12% for a 182-day bill, then you should expect to receive 6% because the bill will only run for 6 months. To get the full return, you would need to purchase and hold a 364-day T-bill. Note that the interest being quoted varies according to the length of the treasury bill.
That was Gillian Hammer of Data Bank, and that does it for the breakfast edition of Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goyle, and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citibusinessnews.com. I am Ni Lati. Lati, do you have a good business day?
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
$7:14. Coming up next is kickoff on the Citi Breakfast Show. But the Citi Business News was brought to us by Goyle. Goyle says, where do you go when you run out of fuel? In your car, just drive to any of Goyle's 440 stations. They even have more than that. And go and get fuel for your car or vehicle. It doesn't matter. They have a Super XP 195 and Diesel XP. They're the best quality fuels with high performance in town for your vehicle. Goyle, good energy, Goyle. Yeah, dear. And the Citi Business is also brought to us by MTN. MTN everywhere you go. Coming up next is Kickoff. Evans of Uchumanso is here. Kickoff brought to us by Lecheho. Get in touch with them and open a fixed deposit account today. Call 0577 707 700 and get to set up any of or get to enjoy any of their flexible products. They've got 91-day, 182-day, and 365-day products. Lecheho Savings Saloons, a trusted haven for your investment. Lecheho, let's improve life. Kickoff is also brought to us by Shell. Attention to all Trotsky taxi, truck, and bus drivers. Buying fuel at Shell just got more rewarding. You get all kinds of great rewards, health insurance, groceries, all of that. Take your driving experience to a different level. Join the Shell Club today and keep filling up for more benefits because drive a Shell day for you. Well, let's get into Kickoff, the latest from the world of sport with Evans of Uchumanso.
You're live on Citi 97.3 FM. Evans of Ojumanso here with Kickoff on the CBS. Coming up, we have answers from the Black Meteors head coach Ibrahim Tanko after his team suffered a thumping defeat against Morocco in the Under-23 AFCON.
Begraoui, 1-on-1, he can make it 5, he does! Morocco, they just look.
Certainly a night to forget for Ghana's Under-23 team, who were reduced from the Black Meteors to Black Torchlights. Also here from Manchester City's first signing of the 2023 summer transfer window.
I'm joining the current Champions League winners, Premier League winners, so it's an amazing team with amazing players, a great coach.
Yes, Mateo Kovacic has completed his move from Chelsea to Manchester City. And if you're out there and you want to be part of the Paris Olympic Games next year, you will not be able to buy alcohol inside stadiums. All this and more with me, Evans of Ojumanso, here on Kickoff. All right, let's get into the details of the stories now. And George Friye Kojo Yanka, who have announced the ambition to be GFA president, as well as subsequent presidential hopefuls, will have to cough out 50,000 Ghana cedis each as the nomination fee for this year's elections if Congress approves. This is after the GFA, through a statement signed by its General Secretary Prosper Resinado, proposed to Congress to increase the nomination fee for the presidential candidates by 900% from 5,000 Ghana cedi charged in 2019 to 50,000 Ghana cedis in 2023. Now, Ghana's football governing body cites the current cost of elections, including logistics, transportation, and accommodation, as the basis for the proposed increase, and Congress will approve or reject the new figure when they converge at the Great Hall of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology on Monday, 10th July. Away from the GFA, let's talk more on the pitch issues. And Ghana suffered a humiliating 5-1 loss to host nation Morocco yesterday at the Prince Moulay Abdullah Stadium in the U23 AFCON, with Salim Adams scoring the consolation goal for the team. Now, Ghana's under-23 team were 3-0 down in the first 30 minutes of the match before succumbing to 2 more goals in the first 8 minutes of the second half. So, poor starts in both halves there. And here's the Black Meteors head coach Ibrahim Tanko after the match.
I think we give them a lot of respect, and I also said it's not an excuse, but we have a day rest, they have a 2. You could see also from the game of Guinea against Congo how the scoreline was, because of Congo also have only 1 day rest. But as I said, we still have a chance in this tournament. We still have the last game, so we are going to prepare for that. And the Moroccans have 2 days more rest than us, as we see it in the game against Guinea against Congo, that the Guineas are very faster than the Congo. So I think that's the reason.
So that's the Black Meteors head coach Ibrahim Tanko, and the team will have all to play for in their final group match against Guinea this Friday. Ghana must win that match to keep their dream of playing at the 2024 Paris Olympic Games alive. And coach Ibrahim Tanko is looking forward to that test against the Guineans.
We now have also 2 days to rest, both teams, so we are going to make use of it and then try to win our next match. I think both of us want to go to the next stage, so I think both teams are going to prepare very well to win the game. So, I can only talk about my team. I don't know what the Guineas want, but definitely we want to win to go to the next stage.
That's the head coach of the Black Meteors, Ibrahim Tanko, after yesterday's humiliating 5-1 defeat at the hands of Morocco. And in the other Group A match, Guinea beat Congo by 3-1. And coming up today in Group B, there's Egypt up against Mali, and then Gabon face Niger. Now let's stay more on the national team issues. And former Black Stars defender Sheila Iliasu has expressed his concern at the lack of identity within the senior national team the last couple of years. And he said this in the wake of Chris Hughton's last 3 games in charge of the Black Stars, where he masterminded the team to a win and 2 draws in the 2023 AFCON qualifiers. And let's now hear from Sheila Iliasu on the Black Stars.
So to me, for instance, I'm yet to identify maybe the identity they want to impose on the team. But I said, I don't know whether maybe we just hope after our constitution before maybe people start to see, but with all fairness, our game against Madagascar, I sat in front of my TV and I was asking lots of questions because I don't know whether maybe the message he carried to the team, the players are yet to understand it or not. To France, the game against Madagascar was lost.
So that's former Black Stars defender Sheila Iliasu speaking on the senior national team under Chris Hughton. Now, in club football here in Ghana, brands and communications manager for Nations FC, Kennedy Boachi Ansah, says the objective of the incoming head coach is to complement the efforts of Johnson Smith, who led the club promotion to the Ghana Premier League. Now, due to licensing restrictions, Coach Smith is unable to lead the technical team in next season's elite division, And in a Citi Sports interview, Kennedy Boakye-Ansah indicated that negotiations are far advanced to announce a substantive head coach for their first Ghana Premier League campaign.
Hopefully, in the next 1 week or so, Nations FC will announce a new manager who also coming to assist Coach Johnson Smith and the other coaching staff we have at our disposal. It's unfortunate that Johnson have done a very good job, but because of licensing issues, he can't coach in the Premier League. I also will need to bring in a manager who also come in to augment the efforts of Coach Johnson Smith. Smith will still be with us. There's no way we're going to do away with his services. Based on the kind of job he did with Asante Kotoko, with Karela United, with Sky FC, and with Nations FC, we think that Coach Johnson Smith has a lot to offer Nations FC.
So that's the brands and communications manager of Nations FC, Kennedy Boakye-Ansah, speaking to Citi Sports there. Now let's check out some transfer stories. And The Athletic has reported that Arsenal have made an improved bid worth £105 million for West Ham midfielder Declan Rice. The Gunners are still pushing to sign the player and remains in talks with the Hammers despite Manchester City's interest. And also Man United targets Adrien Rabiot has signed a 1-year contract extension at Juventus, so quite a huge one for Juventus, and not the very best of stories there for Man United. Tottenham Hotspur have signed goalkeeper Guillermo Vicario from Empoli on a 5-year deal, and James Maddison will have a medical at Tottenham on Wednesday as Leicester City closes a deal with Spurs for that midfielder worth the region of £40 million. That's how much Leicester and Spurs have agreed on for James Maddison. And also we understand Bayern Munich have offered a bid of £60 million plus add-ons from the club to Tottenham Hotspur. That has been rejected already by Spurs. In other stories also, Man City have completed the signing of Croatia midfielder Mateo Kovacic from Chelsea. We understand a fee of around £25 million plus a potential extra £5 million in add-ons there. And let's hear from Kovacic. He says he wants to get on playing and winning more silverware with Manchester City.
Very nice to be at such a big club, a club that has won a lot in the recent years, and can't wait to get started. I'm joining the current Champions League winners, Premier League winners, so it's an amazing team with amazing players, a great coach, and you can see from the first impressions when I came here that it's a big club, and it's really a pleasure to be part of it. I think there is always room for improvement, and when you are in such an amazing squad that tends to have the ball a lot and to play and to keep the ball all the time, you can improve a lot. So that's my aim, to improve, to learn, and win obviously trophies with City.
All right, so that's the new Manchester City player Mateo Kovacic. Now Timo Pukki has joined Minnesota United in the MLS, and also Ukrainian attacker Andrei Yarmolenko has joined Dynamo Kiev. Now, in other stories that we are monitoring here at Citi Sports, Manchester United fans, they blocked the club's mega store to protest against the Glazer family amidst the ongoing ownership takeover saga yesterday. And also, former Juventus boss Andrea Pirlo has now been appointed as the manager for Serie B side Sampdoria. And also, fans at next year's Paris Olympics will not be able to buy alcohol inside stadiums. This is after the organizers decided not to seek an exemption to Evans law. It's quite a huge one for the fans who will be coming there with the intention that they will be drinking alcohol at the stadiums. No alcohol for you in Paris during the Olympic Games in the stadiums there. That's the latest sports here for you on Kickoff. And for more, log on to the website citisportsonline.com. Barika de Salah from me, Evans of Uchiman. So to all my Muslim friends out there, hasta la próxima.
Passengers, Mama me 2 minutes per why. Neighbor Cecilia.
Oh, driver, you can't do this in London.
Oh, English, madam. We dear Miss 1 minute per why. Shell,
driver, we're in a hurry, please. What's all this about?
Oh, madam. Help me say thank you to Shell. Shell Fuel Save lasts longer and helps us to save more money to do more things. Also, because I'm a member of the Shell Club, I get loyalty points every time I buy fuels that I use to redeem gifts I love. I can get third-party insurance for my car, free medical insurance, provisions for my home, and many more. Shell day my side. In fact, when I see another Shell station, I will hug everyone there.
Hey, driver, what do you fire Kwanzaa?
Hey. English, madam. Into G.
Enjoy numerous benefits when you buy fuel from Shell. Get loyalty points to claim third-party car insurance, family medical cover, provisions, and many more for free. Driver, Shell day your side. Go well.
Now, 3 candidates contested. Candidate number 1, the person of the New Democratic Party, secured 12,630 votes. Candidate number 2, Stephen Bennett of the Health, secured 87 votes. Candidate number 3,
Even when you're stuck with nothing, no matter your situation, let Share Go, we improve your life. Let Share Go.
17,245. Total valid votes is 29,962. Total rejected votes is 456. Total vote cast 30,418. For candidate number 1, he secured a percentage of 42.15%. Candidate number 2 secured 0.29%. Candidate number 3 had 57.57%.
And I haven't swayed at all. I'm still going to be pursuing the same agenda because that's the mandate that Asin North people have given me. Now, this is a victory not just for myself, it's for the people of Asin North, and in fact for the country Ghana. Hopefully one day we'll pursue a good direction of justice.
How did you feel when the president, during that final rally, made comments suggesting that the constituents should not vote for you and that you could be headed to prison? It's been largely described as prejudicial. How did you feel about it?
Well, that's his decision. It's not the people's opinion about this, right? He's free to express his own opinion, as he said. I didn't hear it myself. I was told, and you have just re-emphasized on that. But again, I was a bit disappointed to hear that. And I know he's a lawyer, and the fundamental belief or value of legal system, you're innocent until proven guilty. So for him to say that, I think it's not a qualified.
The morning of June 27, the atmosphere was charged as constituents of Asin North eagerly joined long and winding queues to exercise their right to vote and select a representative for the upcoming 2024 elections. At precisely 7 a.m., the election
on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
We call this, but tell me if it's a damn can you fact. Yeah, you know who go game. 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, 5 time. Go back to 1 time, over your bad time. Oh, bad time, pay more, but for to pay. Hey, wait. If I'm on a jet, when you pay, what for K? From your way, obey your way. Obey your way. Obey your way.
Unleashing the power of regular flavors. This is City 97.8.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Abiba,
7:38, Wednesday, the 28th of June, 2023. There's still the Citi Breakfast Show. It's Eid al-Adha. So happy Eid to all our Muslim friends, colleagues, brothers, sisters. If there's something I may not remember all the things from primary 6 or early JSS, whatever. But there's one thing I remember is that Eid al-Adha is 2 months and 10 days after the first Eid. So the Muslims, if you are listening, please correct me if I'm wrong, because if I remember my RME notes, religious and moral education notes.
Are you sure you remember it properly?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And I remember it because that one we wrote it in red ink. You know, when you're writing notes, there are certain things you write in red pen. And that one I remember 2 months and 10 days after the first Eid, or Eid al-Fitr. So happy Eid to all our Muslim friends and brothers. We wish you the very best as you mark a very, very important day on your religious calendar.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, let me just plug into that and wish a colleague of mine in law school, also a barrister at law now, Abiba Tonia. I mean, because this song you are playing, no, Abiba Tonia, wonderful woman, doing great things in her own right. Today is Eid al-Adha. She's a dedicated Muslim. And I celebrate her together with all other brothers and sisters and friends, colleagues of mine who are Muslims. Yeah. Okay. So Abiba, Charlie, this song those days, Vikabamba. Charlie. The only time people will go into the dance, dance. Yeah. V103 or Messiah. All of these people.
The spinners.
Charlie, the spinners dance. We call it dance. You know me, this is a club, nightclub. You know me, club. We call it dance. The only time people will wake up from their house is giddy, Charlie. Put on something and go and pay and enter the thing. Is when they hear that Abiba is being played. Yeah. Charlie, Wabiba Formula. Oh, Wabiba Formula. Charlie, play me Abiba. So Nathan, this song is you can't. Is it high life?
It's high life. It's high life. It's just high life with the francophone spice because of the guitar part. Okay. And I always said this is one of the most interesting instrumentals to listen to. So beautiful. I think on the album there was an instrumental on this when it came out. And I don't know where people can get copies. But if somebody has the time, they can just find the instrumental and listen to it. It's as engaging as the song itself. Really, really well put together song. That Rexoma album was really nice. It was titled Dangerous. Really, really nice album. We'll get into a few birthdays and shouts and, we'll talk about Asin North and all of that. But Vodafone has brought the Edemu promo. Receive up to 20% of your money back in your Vodafone cash wallet when you recharge with 5 cedis or more. Now, here's 2 more reasons to keep your conversations going with the Edemu promo. The higher you recharge, the more you get back. Keep reloading in the Edemu promotion and win with Vodafone. Vodafone, fare that together. Now, in keeping with the adage that where your treasure is, there your heart will be, FBN Bank is encouraging you to put your children on their way to financial independence awareness with a Kids First account designed to give children up to the age of 12 an exciting feel when it comes to saving. For teenagers aged between 13 and 17, the Me First account helps them embrace the culture of financial responsibility from a young age. Now, with the Kids First account, your child of up to 12 years gets to enjoy memorable activities, while the Me First account affords teenagers the opportunity to learn about money in fun ways. Now, to find out more, call 0596 921 921 or visit any FBN Bank branch. FBN Bank, you first. Now, Imperial General Assurance is saying that your insurance experience should be memorable. When you insure with them, you have the peace of mind to focus on what matters to you because they will be there for you when the unexpected happens. Call them on 0302 788 955 or 0577 667 436. Imperial General Assurance, solid protection. Now, everybody's looking for that one thing that pushes them to bring out their best and enables them to reach peak performance. Your car wants the same thing. That's why your best bet is to give it Shell Helix engine oil, lubricant, moon, Hene. It doesn't matter where you are. You are in traffic, you are on the road, you are anywhere. Choose Shell Helix because it will keep your engine running smoothly. Visit your local Shell station today and experience the difference for yourself. All right, let's do a few birthdays. This one says, happy birthday to Jonathan Ose Owusu, CEO of POS Foundation. May you live long and prosper. That's the message that came in. Yes, Faraz Neil Totikoni says, you are right. Idul Adha is 2 months and 10 days after the first Eid, after Idul Fitr. I told you, that one day I remember. I remember. God, I remember. Anyway, more messages are welcome on 0549 986 996. And can you really call it savings or investment if all you keep doing is paying charges on the account you currently have? Well, at Bayport, we believe an investment account should make you more money as you can contain. That is why our fixed deposit has been the preferred choice for most Ghanaians over the last 20 or so years. Convenience and peace of mind are redefined as you enjoy guaranteed maximum returns on every CD invested with us. Call us now on 0302 745 454. Bayport, your future now. And this one is a final notice going out to all debtors and ground rent defaulters of TDC Development Company Limited. Now, all debtors and defaulters of lands purchase, land management fees, license fees, ground rent, office, stroke shop rent, and house rent are hereby advised to make payment of their debts using any of the following channels or platforms. We're talking about GCB Bank Nationwide, mobile money short code *73 *46 hash, Ashaiman sub office opposite Joe Cinema at Ashaiman Market, or the TDC head office near Olam Senior High School.
Now, all such debtors and defaulters are reminded that the company will exercise its right to recover possession of the affected plots and premises and redeem the outstanding amounts owed without further recourse to them if payments are not made by the 30th of June 2023. So if you have any further inquiries on this particular matter, you have to call 059 691 3236 or 059 404 3311. And more work to do? Well, don't say much. I have just what you need to help you chalk the hunger. Charlie. Royal King Cracker is helping you do more by adding extra crackers in each pack just for you this Salah season. So now you can get through all that work you were doing behind the PC with Royal King Cracker and tackle the watchy thereafter. Royal King Cracker, take chalk your hunger small.
All right, some birthday messages coming in.
Yeah, this one says, hi Nathan, good morning. Kindly wish my son, Jaden, a J. Frimpong of St. Dominic's RC Basic School in Akwitia, a blessed 9th birthday for me. It's coming in from Sheila, who is listening to us from Kadi in the eastern region. And in life, you always have to insist on the very best of things. And when you find it, stick to it. Now, Bell Pack paper tissue is one of those best things in life. Now, Bell Pack has tea rolls that are soft but not weak, strong but not hard, and they are just perfect for you. Now, Bell Pack tea rolls, the tea roll is smooth and gentle on the skin. Same for Bell Pack kitchen towel. It cleans in one swipe or one wipe. One Bell Pack lasts long and saves you money. So if you need one, you know what to do. You can call them on 0551 144 400. 0551 144 400. Another quality product coming in from Bell Aqua. So grab a copy or grab one of those tissues or one of those packs and let's do something wonderful with it.
.753, still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. Is the Eid al Adha edition Of course, it doesn't mean that there aren't things on our plate. Yesterday there was a by-election in Asin North. Now, I mean, if today were not a holiday, I'm sure all the action would be there. But look, the by-election did happen.
Yes.
So we'll talk about it. James Achikwesin has been elected.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say re-elected, but he's been elected technically for the first time, right?
Yep.
For the first, because the other election, according to the law,
Did not happen.
So that's done. And he's going to Parliament, a place he's been.
I'm sure by tomorrow they will swear him into office.
So he will be there between now and at least. Well, there is another court case, so we don't know how that one will play out. So if nothing happens, he'll be there until the next election. But yesterday there was a by-election. We'll get into that. But actually, do you have a birthday dedication?
Yes, this one is going out to my Kumasi GNA sister. So that's the message. A happy birthday. Wishing you God's blessings for me. It's going out to Madame Florence Ekiefriye. And the message says that God bless you immensely for all you do for me. My side or style chick. The message said, it says that me do papa. And it's coming in from LC Apia Osei of GNA right here in Accra.
Still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. So for those who were not in Ghana yesterday, or they were hiding under a rock, there was a by-election in the Asin North constituency. Somebody will ask, why was there a by-election? Richard, correct me if I'm wrong, but the sitting MP at the time, James Achikwesin, had some legal issues concerning citizenship, right? So the matter went to court, and the court determined that as of the time he filed his papers to contest to be an MP, he had not fully completed his citizenship renunciation, as it were. So he was holding a Canadian passport or citizenship. Wanted to contest, meaning that he had to drop the Canadian one, pick up his Ghanaian one, and then contest. But the court said, well, as of the time of filing and all of that, he had not completed the process. So technically, he was not a Ghanaian citizen. He still went to Parliament, and then at the resolution of the case, he was taken out of Parliament, and his name was expunged. That was the term, right?
Yeah.
Expunged from the records. Now, a few years on, or sometime after that, it looks like he's completed the process, and so the NDC presented him again as their candidate for the Asin North. So by his expunging, the seat had become vacant, and a by-election needed to be held. So the by-election came off yesterday, June 27. We all thought June 27 would never come, but it did happen yesterday. And in the end, James Achikwesin won. Now, he went up against two other candidates. There were three candidates in all. He, James Achikwesin, representing the NDC, Charles Opoku, representing the NPP, and Benis Enyonam Sefenu of the Liberal Party of Ghana. And in the end, the LPG.
They were buying and selling.
James Achikwesin polled 17,245 votes, representing 57.56% of the votes cast. Charles Opoku polled 12,630 votes, representing 42.15%. And then LPG's Benis Enyonam Sepenu polled 87, representing 0.29 of the votes cast. So that was the story from Asin North. So let's for our listeners, we'll give you portions of, a feel of the by-election, a feel of the declaration, and then we'll get some thoughts, I think, from the NDC. And then when we come back, I'll take Richard's thoughts on how the whole thing played out, the legal matters surrounding it, and what could have possibly led to James Achikwesin's victory in yesterday's by-election.
These are the details of the result. Now, 3 candidates contested.
Candidate number 1 in the person of Charles Opoku of the New Patriotic Party secured 12,630 votes. Candidate number 2, Sefenu Bennett Enyonam of the LPD secured 87 votes. Candidate number 3, James secured 17,200. Total valid votes is 29,962. Total rejected votes is 456. Total vote cast 30,418. For candidate number 1, he secured a percentage of 42.15%. Candidate number 2 secured 0.29%. Candidate number 3 had 57.56%. By the power in me invested, now total turnout is 74%, 74.23%. Now, please have the candidate form. By the power in me invested.
Are you the candidate?
This victory is a product of teamwork. But above all, this victory is a product of hard work. We put everything into it. I virtually relocated here for the past 1 month. Nothing mattered to me than this victory. And I'm happy today that today we've seen the fruits of our labor. And so when I say hard work, I'm not just talking about working hard without strategy. Because yes, we worked hard, but that hard work was based on a superior strategy, a strategy anchored on continuous research, a strategy anchored on community engagements, a strategy anchored on solving community problems, a strategy anchored on a superior campaign message, a superior campaign communications strategy, and a superior campaign organizational and electoral management strategy. So that is what has given us this victory. But above all, this victory is anchored or has been anchored on a superior candidate. We had a better candidate, a candidate who was already marketable, loved sincerely by the good people of this country. And they put everything into it. Very intelligent, very wise, very courageous. And I'm sure you've seen that for yourself today. And they decided to stand by the truth. They decided to stand by justice. And it is their fidelity to the truth and justice that has been.
So I owe it to them things according to the law, right? And also I had the support of my constituents to the cause of our vision. I stood for justice and development. And I haven't swayed at all. I'm still going to be pursuing the same agenda because that's the mandate that Asin North people have given me. Now, this is a victory not just for myself, it's for the people of Asin North, and in fact for the country Ghana. Hopefully one day we'll pursue a good direction of justice, and also to realize that politics is not about sharing money to citizens and get a vote. It's about development. Democracy itself is about development. And we're going to set this trend along to make sure that people who are represented get a fair share of the national cake and how to develop their communities.
You didn't seem to be perturbed despite all the issues that were thrown at you and even the campaign issues that perhaps when you got the nod, you may be criminalized, go to court and all of that. What was your motivation?
Well, as I said earlier, first and foremost, I believe in the rule of law, and I do things according to the law, right? And also I had the support of my constituent, all the people of Asin North, not just even Asin North, because people alone, my NDC fraternity, then I got people from even the other side of the aisle, which is MPP, who are supporting me. They may not be able to identify themselves openly, but I knew they were I was fairly, very fair, treated unfairly, that I should say. But as I said earlier, I have to abide by the court's decision. I didn't call for this, they called for it. If they didn't believe what I did, after all, now they all know the results, and we are going to work with it. So I think there's not much I have to say.
Just finally, how did you feel when the president, during that final rally, made comments suggesting that the constituents should not vote for you and that you could be headed to prison? It's been largely described as prejudicial. How did you feel about it?
Well, that's his decision. It's not the people's opinion about this, right? He's free to express his own opinion, as he said. I didn't hear it myself. I was told, and you have just re-emphasized on that. But again, I was a bit disappointed to hear that. And I know he's a lawyer, and the fundamental belief or value of legal system, you're innocent until proven guilty. So for him to say that, I think it's not a qualified statement. But again, the good people of Asin North demonstrated that they have conscience and they believe in me. And I mean, human conscience supersedes every justice system, right? So let's live with that. And I'm not here to play games. I came for purpose. I have a vision that I came with, and the people of Asin North believe in my vision that I expressed to them. As you came around, you all reporters have noticed how underdeveloped this community is. And what the government tried to do to hopefully gain some points in this election, but Asin North people are very, very aware of what is happening. They will not take a road in the middle of a rainy season to change their minds. Obviously, they know better. So I'm still committed to the cause of my work.
So that was a feel of what happened in Asin North. There was the declaration and the announcement, the press conference. Richard, so yeah, that's Asin North in 10 minutes.
Yep.
A whole day's episode in 10 minutes. Of course, there were all kinds of other stories. Alleged violence, some shootings, some arrests here and there. But we thank God that by-election has passed and we are not dealing with major issues. The last by-election we had was Ayawaso West Worgon, and till today we are still trying to understand what happened and really what the remedy was back then, or what the remedy should be in terms of handling election violence and all of that. But Asin North has passed. It's passed peacefully. And James Jachikwesin, like I said, he's in parliament now. He got 57%.
He's not yet in parliament.
Okay, he's been elected, so he has to be sworn in.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's on his way to parliament. Your thoughts on everything that's happened so far?
Okay, so first of all, let me congratulate the MP-elect, Jachikwesin, on his election. It's a significant message that he sent out there, that the victory of 2020, which was nullified by the Supreme Court on the basis of their interpretation of the letter and spirit of the Constitution, is no mere fluke. And that the people actually genuinely love him and they want him to represent them. And on the basis of that, let me celebrate him for standing firmly, resisting attempts to take him down at the elections, and then emerging victorious. Again, let me congratulate the NDC for putting up a huge fight, a successful fight in that constituency, because coming up against the incumbency advantage that the MPP wielded going into the elections. For any political party seeking to take that seat for the first time, because, this is the first proper elections, properly so called, which has decided that the NDC holds that constituency in a long time. And it tells you that a lot of work was done going to the elections. At least listening to Mr. Kwesin himself, listening to Sami Jemfi, the strategy that they had put in place to engage the people in their rooms, in their offices, in their farms, in the market square, the personal nature of the conversations that took place apparently helped them to cross the line. So those are my initial remarks. But let me also celebrate the Electoral Commission and then the police. Because, look, the closeness of the numbers in Parliament always meant that this was going to be sitting on a knife edge. Because the NPP wanted to win, so then they have an extra cushion in the House.
Okay, so heading into this, for those who don't understand, can you just put it into context? So heading into this by-election, or let's say by Monday, what was the state of the parliamentary numbers? Just to paint the picture for somebody who doesn't understand.
So we had the majority caucus formed by the NPP and one independent member of parliament from the Ashanti region, made up of 138 seats.
Okay. So 137 on the majority caucus and then one independent candidate. Now the independent
so the
candidate
majority caucus is 138.
138.
But the caucus is made up of two groups: one independent member of parliament and 137 NPP MPs.
Okay.
So that forms the majority.
137 plus 1.
Exactly.
138.
Then you also have the minority caucus formed entirely by the NDC, 137 MPs. Now, when Gyakye Quayson was knocked out of parliament by the operation of law, the number reduced from 137 to 136. Right? But the NPP side, which is the majority side, stayed 138. So the victory yesterday, if it had gone the MPP's way, they would have increased their numbers from 138 to 139, right? Then the NDC would have lost a seat, which would have brought them to 136, right? Then the two-seat margin that the NPP would have had would have given them some cushion, greater maneuverability, because what happens when because you can afford to leave one person, that kind of thing. Currently, the tightness of the numbers meant that if they had to do certain things, they had to command a lot of people to come from where, remember the MP who nearly died, rushed into parliament, had an accident, and all of that. So you always need some room to actually be able to maneuver. You understand? So that was what it meant to both sides. Of course, the NDC needed this victory to make a point about we did not win Asin North in the last election, which has since been invalidated, on the basis of mere fluke, if you like. We won it genuinely. The people are with us. They want DC to be green and all of that. They believe in the message of the man Gyakye Quayson, and that they believe that he has what it takes to give the people a fitting representation in parliament. Of course, there's an added message that, look, it is a verdict, they would argue, that's the argument, a verdict on the performance of the MPP. That almost everybody who matters in Ghana was in that constituency. Dr. Baumia was there. Alan Chemantin was there. All the people running for president.
MPP chairman,
the president himself was there. And yet the NDC was able to fend off the challenge mounted by an incumbent, government, political party seeking to take the seat from them. So if you look at it within that context, it was an election that actually mattered. Now, let's unpack the whole thing. For those who do not know, and I'm assuming that some people are not aware as to what exactly happened. When Gyakye Quayson was elected, a challenge was mounted at the High Court with a petition questioning the lawfulness of the outcome of the polls, not on the basis of the results. So let's deconstruct the issue. The issue was not about whether the results were valid.
Okay.
The issue was whether or not the candidate, Gyakye Quayson, under the law, could have contested, should have contested, and deserved to have contested. Because, according to the people who took the matter to court, he was still holding Canadian nationality as of the time that he had filed his processes. Now, the law, as previously decided by the Supreme Court, and I've mentioned this case here before, in the case of Zaneto Rawlings, of course, the facts are not exactly the same, but in principle, you can distill a principle from the Zaneto case, is that if you want to run for the office of Member of Parliament, by the time that you are filing, you should have met all the requirements laid down in law, both the Representation of the People's Act and the 1992 Constitution. If, as of that time, you did not meet the requirements, anything that comes after that, if you are subsequently elected, the courts have the power under the ROPA to nullify your election. So the High Court, hearing the arguments of both sides in the Central Region, decided that yes, indeed, the people who brought the case had a valid point, and that the gentleman should not hold himself out as Member of Parliament. Of course, there were coca. Let's not go into all the coca. The ultimate thing that happened was that subsequently an action was initiated at the Supreme Court, which action invited the Supreme Court to have the gentleman thrown out of Parliament on the basis of the fact that he had violated the Constitution. As of the time he was filing, he did not properly qualify, he owed allegiance to another country, and for which reason he should be thrown out of Parliament. Mind you, much earlier, the Supreme Court had held on a different application that he should stop holding himself out as a Member of Parliament. And therefore, he was frozen from Parliament entirely. He wasn't going to Parliament. The court said, don't go to Parliament. So when the matter was decided by the Supreme Court recently, the order was that you did not meet the requirement. You ought not have been elected because you did not meet the requirement. And so let Parliament do the honorable thing. Remove or expunge his names from the record, or his name from the record. Now, let me be clear. The Supreme Court did not decide politics. The Supreme Court decided the law as they understood it, right? The law is that when you want to file, make sure you qualify. If you don't qualify, under our laws, you can be removed from Parliament. So that was what was done.
Okay. But has Parliament done that? Has Parliament removed or expunged Judge Kweson's name from its record?
So the Speaker said that he was unclear as to the effect, the import, the meaning of the order directed at Parliament. First of all, the order was directed at Parliament. Now, the Speaker was wondering, in terms of a public statement that he made, whether the order, who should carry out the order? Is it the Clerk of Parliament, the Speaker himself, the institution of Parliament, or the majority leader, or the minority leader? Who ought to carry out the order? Now, I have an interesting view on the matter. You know, if you look at the standing orders of the House, I think it's Order 6, and I wrote something on this. I didn't just publish it. The rules give the Speaker residual power, so that where a matter is not expressly provided for in the rules, the Speaker is given the authority to make a new rule to deal with that situation. So the Honorable Bibin came to Parliament and invited the House to comment on how to proceed with the order from the Supreme Court. Of course, he's already barred from Parliament, barred from acting as a Member of Parliament. His name is to be expunged. But giving effect to the order in terms of removing the name from the records, the Speaker said he didn't know how to handle it. Now, my respectful view is that, yes, it is true the standing orders of the House do not expressly deal with that matter. However, if the Speaker was properly advised, in my respectful view, he would have taken note of the provisions of Order 6, which provision makes it clear that if a matter is not provided for in the rules, the Speaker has the authority to deal with it. Again, if you read the 1992 Constitution, and let me just quickly make a quick reference to that provision. Yes. If you go to the Article 110, which is 110 of the Constitution, the Constitution says that subject to the provisions of this Constitution, Parliament may, by standing orders, regulate its own procedure. That is the first, clause. The second clause says that Parliament may act notwithstanding a vacancy in its membership, including a vacancy not filled when Parliament first meets after a dissolution of Parliament. and the presence or participation of a person not qualified or entitled to be present or to participate in the proceedings of Parliament shall not invalidate the proceedings. Now, basically, what does this mean? People were asking the question, yes, Jachikwesin, what does it mean? He took part in the election of the Speaker. So are we to invalidate the election of the Speaker too? Mm-hmm. All the loans that he may have participated in a decision which ultimately approved them. Okay. What becomes of those matters? People have asked those questions. But if you look at the language of the Constitution, Article 110, Clause 2, the framers of the Constitution are clear in their mind, or were clear, if you like, as to what should happen in those circumstances. That even if you had a stranger in Parliament who was not entitled to vote, and he actually voted, which matter can be dealt with on a different level. You can prosecute the person for, contempt and all the related matters, or impersonation, or whatever that may come to a prosecutor's mind. The fact that a stranger took part in the decision making ordinarily would not invalidate the outcome of parliamentary decisions. So that is, to be understood as in what could possibly have been, done to all the decisions that were made with Jachikwesin in Parliament and all of that. So my respectful view, and let me articulate this again, is that the view that was taken in Parliament that, we need to make we have to amend the standing orders, or that another argument that was made, Parliament has to vote, pass a resolution, and all these arguments, I believe respectfully that if we were to read properly the rules, Order 6, if my memory serves me correctly, the Speaker is entitled to make an appropriate rule to deal with this matter. And then also, look, expunging things from the records is not something that is novel in Parliament. In fact, if you make a statement that the Speaker considers derogatory,
he can ask for
to be expunged from the records. And the Hansa department, the people who take down the notes and everything verbatim, they know how to deal with that. So the order is to the effect, in my respectful view, that this thing did not happen at all. He was not a member of Parliament, and that should be the matter. But again, I think recently the Supreme Court made some pronouncement on the matter. I saw somewhere in the news that they said that there should be an application for review and all of that. And
All right, we'll take a few announcements. We'll take some comments as well. And when we come back, we'll talk about maybe the election itself,
that's right.
The aftermath and what it means for the two parties heading into the rest of the year in terms of parliamentary proceedings and all. But research has proven that in Ghana, stigmatization and discrimination against persons living with HIV and TB are major human rights barriers affecting the uptake and quality of health services and other support systems available. We want to fight discrimination, and so the Ghana West Africa Program to Combat AIDS and STI, WAPCAS, is joining forces with WILDAF, Women in Law and Development Africa, to combat stigmatization and discrimination. Call WAPCAS on 0800 123 555 or WILDAF on 0204 917 521 to see how you can join that fight. Now, every time we eat, food and sugars are trapped between our teeth, leading to tooth decay, gum disease, and in some cases, foul breath. But if you have Pepsodent's Cavity Fighter, you are assured of getting teeth that are 10 times stronger. Pepsodent Cavity Fighter is fortified with profluoride and microcalcium ingredients, sealing tiny and invisible holes in your teeth. Now you can get in touch with Pepsodent customer care on toll-free number 0800 200030. Always remember to brush your teeth in the morning and before you sleep at night. Pepsodent, every smile matters. Now, are you ready, Accra? Are you ready? From July 1 to August 31st? Your favorite mall, Accra Mall, is the mall with it all. It's going to make your shopping spree even more exciting with the Scan and Win promo. If you like shopping like I do, then you should be part. Now, here's the fun part. We've got QR code signages placed inside the mall, just waiting for you to discover. So put on your adventure hat, scan these codes, fill in your details, and voila! You can win amazing shopping vouchers and exclusive gifts from our fantastic shops. What are you waiting for? Let's turn your shopping into a winning spree. T's and C's apply. Come in. We can't wait to see you at Accra Mall, where every visit is a win. 0549-986-996. That's the text and WhatsApp number. We'll take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation on Asin North. The by-election happened yesterday. John Jachikwe won. We'll talk a bit more about that by-election. But remember, we'll give you the Wednesday edition, even though it's a holiday, of our Citi Business Month conversation. Today, we are talking to William Neti, and he'll be sharing some great insights on agribusiness and the agribusiness value chain. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
One day, an old lady inherited a huge sum of money. Her family worried about how to break the good news to her. They feared that the sudden good news might give her a heart attack. And so they decided the family doctor who was experienced in delivering such news should be the one to tell her. And when he did, surprisingly, she just smiled. Relieved, he asked, "What are you going to do with all that money?" She replied, "I'm going to give you half." The doctor had a heart attack. People are often surprised when we put them first. At FBN Bank, that's what we do. We put you first. Open an account with us today and enjoy mobile banking, USSD banking, shop and pay with our prepaid Visa cards, MasterCard, and many other services designed with you in mind. FBN Bank, you first.
Hey, you ever buy credits where you get up to 20% of your money back before? Make I tell you about Vodafone's demo promo. See, anytime you recharge a demo, you get up to 20%, whether it be short code or your Vodafone cash wallet, or you use credit transfer to your number or someone else. And now you be high tech, so you use my Vodafone app or any payment app. However you do, Vodafone go send you up to 20% cash back into your Vodafone cash account. We'll reload it, but then you enter. Top up your airtime with 5 Ghana Cedi or more in Vodafone's demo promotion and receive 20% of your money back straight into your Vodafone cash wallet. Recharge and cash out in the Vodafone demo promotion.
Vodafone, further together.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
For Pepsodent, smiles are one of the most important things we have. The problem is, globally, 1 in 2 children suffer from cavities. Pepsodent, with maximum cavity protection, helps to prevent the formation of cavities. Pepsodent, because every smile matters. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
A bank that supports you, a bank that cares for you. Hand in hand, we stand with you. So lift your head up, big dreams are waiting. We'll walk with you wherever you go. Where all your dreams are alive, CBG will make you smile. No matter, we will rise with you. Your business will flourish, your name will stand out. Consolidated Bank, CBG, we stand with you.
There's no price like the ShopRite price. That's why we are committed to bringing you lower prices on all the essentials you need. Like 1.7 liters essential cordless kettle, only 189 cedis, 99 pence worth. And 500 ml Palmolive shower gel assorted, just 44 cedis, 99 pence worth. Never pay more than the ShopRite price. Prices valid until 9th July. Only at ShopRite.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
share yet, nobody is there. First album, no, you're bad. We susu, yeah, as you said. Look back, the samba, yeah, my whole papa. Or you be a yada, my friend, or you so dada. Papa, shoto, Mizika, Chiloto, 8 Niwokuko, or what only kocho. Get down with the get down, make a know your choice. Gonna short this, then fine, then go make you poise. As the saying goes, this a lead, that's a lead. Chef with it too, let's check. I so, bottom power. Hey, yes, shankun, this a bankun. Clacking, I make it dropping, hip hopping, flip flopping. Make you very notorious, curious when it comes to body language. If you village, if I say, and that's a privilege. I'm still trying to grab some knowledge out of college. So
8:34.
I still got the hooks.
Welcome back. This is still the Citi Breakfast Show.
So baby, maybe you want to take some little
The messages are welcome on 0549 986 996. Let me do a quick birthday shout. This one is happy birthday to the most wonderful wife and mom in the world. Blessing Ugu. We love you from Papa and Echo Bobo Blanksin Anaman. And this one says, kindly wish my son Roland Aseye Nutako a happy birthday. May God grant him long life and prosperity from his father Albert Kofi Nutako.
And there are a number of messages coming in celebrating, our Muslim.
Yes. We need to mention a few before we get back to our conversation.
For instance, I just saw this one coming in from my good friend Christian Pesese, just popped in. It says, Happy Eid al-Adha to all our Muslim brothers in the Parliamentary Press Corps. And it says, Ahmed Osmanu, Awudu Mahama Ibrahim Al-Hassan, Osmanu Al-Hassan, Abdallah Muhammad, Yasmin Abubakar Tete, Kwekwa Asante, and Rashida Ibrahim. May Allah bless your sacrifices as he to the Holy Prophet Ibrahim. Well, or maybe he wants to say as he does to Holy Prophet Ibrahim. It's coming in from Christian Akbasese, just popping in. And I associate myself with this message and all of us here celebrating our colleagues in Parliament who are also doing their fantastic bit to keep our democracy on the straight and narrow.
All right, so we are still talking about Asin North. So Sky, you are just painting a bit of the legal side for us to understand.
Yeah.
On the political side, like we said, the election did happen and the NDC won. Were you expecting this outcome?
As in the NPP
Yes.
winning?
No.
winning?
As in Jachi Kwesing taking on all the odds, taking on the state machinery, taking on the NPP and still fending them off in that constituency.
So
Jachi Kwesing and the NDC, let me put it that way.
I mean, really, from all the indications that we had received, it was an election that was going to be closely fought. And therefore, there was a lack of clarity as to who was actually going to win. But if you understood the sentiments of the people there, so now we are talking politics, they took the view, largely when you hear people comment on social media, when you hear people speak to the radio stations and you hear them quoted in the media, you get a sense that these people feel that the government was out to get a man that they had elected to represent their interests in Parliament. They took the view that the government was victimizing him. The government was all out just to destroy him. And when a people feel that a decision they had made to put their trust in one person, that decision is now being called into question by the government. That's how they take that's the view they take. Then they are likely to push back. And their way of pushing back, we can see in the outcome of the vote, right? He increasing his vote margin astronomically in a landslide victory as to prove that, look, the people retain a lot of trust in him. So that's why I say, let us separate the issue. The Supreme Court was not deciding whether the people were right voting for him. The issue was about whether he qualified at the time that he was filing. As of that time, he qualified to have taken part in the race. That is different from the people loving him to represent them in Parliament.
Yeah.
So the people have demonstrated in this election that they love him, they want him to represent their interests in parliament, and they are keeping faith with him. Do you understand? Now, the other side to the election was the question, or is the question, of the things that happened during the polls, the campaign, and all of that. Let me take them one after the other. Let me start from the issue of misinformation. Trust me, a lot of misinformation happened during the campaign period. Misinformation. People deliberately going into the constitution, from the NDC side, from the MPP side, just spewing all kinds of falsehood, just as to get the people to vote for them. Let me tackle the presidents first. I mean, the president of the republic is a respected lawyer, a human rights activist, we have been told repeatedly, because of the history of what he did in the past during his activism days. I had a tape of him talking to the party people in the constituency.
Okay.
And in his submission to them, he basically suggested, and I'm not quoting him directly, that why vote for a person who is sort of jail bound? I'm not a native speaker of Akan, but I believe I have a passable understanding of this particular context, or someone explained it to me to that effect. If I'm entirely wrong, that's another matter. When I heard that, I was scandalized. Let me explain the reason. Our constitution says that any person who is charged with an offense is innocent until proven guilty. Jechi Kwesin is indeed before the law court being prosecuted for breaking, allegedly, our criminal laws. We do know that that matter is yet to be decided. The president doesn't decide who goes to jail and who doesn't. That responsibility is constitutional and legal in nature, and is reserved for the courts. The president doesn't sit on the courts, right? He is at the Flagstaff House. The only time that his authority is engaged properly in the criminal justice system, when it has to do with a person convicted, is when he decides to what? Grant pardon to a person who's been properly convicted by the courts. Until then, he is not even clothed with the authority to interfere with an investigation being done by any of the institutions of state. For instance, the Attorney General under Article 88 of the Constitution. That is the job of the Attorney General, to prosecute a person. So the president cannot call and direct that don't prosecute this person. If it happens, there will be legal and constitutional issues there. So for the president, I believe, to understand all of these and go and stand on a political party platform and basically say that why vote for a person who is jail bound? I mean, that is scandalous. And with the greatest respect to the president, I think if he looks back on it and he reflects on it, he will come to the conclusion that he misspoke. It was a faux pas. A person of his weight, caliber, and history should not make public utterances like that. Because strictly speaking, in my respectful view, those comments were prejudicial.
Okay.
The matter is still being decided before a court. So you cannot make a determination in your submission one way or the other that the person, and he did. If he had said that the outcome could be A or B, or that or this, right? So you have laid all the possibilities on the table, because the court could decide that, look, we did not have enough evidence provided by the prosecution to find guilty, and therefore, or that we have found enough evidence to do A, B, C, D. right? Or the AG, as I discussed in the previous article, can decide that, look, we are no longer interested in this matter. We are either withdrawing or filing nolle prosequa, as the case may be. So, for a man of his stature, I would say that what he said fed into the angle of misinformation, because it created the impression that, look, a year there, this guy will end up in jail. So why vote for him? Completely unnecessary, unfortunate, and something that all well-meaning Ghanaians should condemn. The president ought to have known better, because he is a lawyer of solid pedigree, and when he is speaking, regardless of the platform, people should take him seriously. And partisan politics should not lead him to make prejudicial statements that create problems for everybody. That having been said, I have also seen videos and tapes from the constituency, and this time with NDC leaning people, suggesting that if Jachi Kwesi, forgive me, is not elected to become a member of parliament, the NPP side intends to use their increased numbers to remove Speaker Bagbin from office. And that should not be allowed to happen.
And you heard it from some of the constituents.
Exactly. No. These are party leaders or influential people in the party making some of these comments. And I also saw another one, a communicator of the party, saying that there is a bill before Parliament, this bill dealing with, the new forms of rights that people are agitating for, and Parliament is seeking to prescribe in written law. The proper sexual something family values. It's a long name. Suggesting that if Jachi Kwesi is not elected to go to Parliament, the MPP will use their increased numbers
to pass it.
To stop the bill from going through.
Okay.
And it's amazing how people play on the ignorance sometimes of people who do not know enough as to make a decision one way or the other by themselves. And if you are a party communicator, it is assumed that you know enough to say the best facts there are on the ground. First of all, if you want to remove the Speaker of Parliament, it's not a joke matter. The threshold you need to meet, you are looking at something in around 2/3 majority. If I don't have my constitution here, you cannot remove the Speaker by having 2 extra seats, in terms of an advantage over the minority. You can't do that. If you put up a vote, you will lose it, because the NDC will not support you. The only reason why you would remove the Speaker, the requirements are there. So to go and incite the people and say that, if you don't vote for Jachi Kwesi, they will remove the Speaker, it was a completely baseless submission, and this was used to mislead people in the constituency. People shouldn't be doing that. If you want the vote of the people, talk to them about your plans. Represent the truth to them. Why go lie to the people? Why go mislead the people? It cannot be right. Again, the matter having to do with the bill that everybody is talking about. Look, a decision can be made one way or the other. First of all, the report of the committee is to be debated. We are told that it could happen this week. A debate will be done, and then it will go to the second reading. Then there will be, consideration stage where they make changes. Every single vote, every single clause in that bill will be voted upon.
Okay.
So they can vote to reject this or accept this, do this and that. Ultimately, the House will decide whether or not that bill should go through. It is not something that, Jachi Kwesi not being elected would make it possible. Okay. Of course, it is a question of majority. There is a numbers game. But I doubt if the people in that house, knowing the sentiments of Ghanaians generally about these new rights, will look into the faces of Ghanaians and say, look, we are voting against this bill. I want to err on the side of caution and say, look, I believe that there is huge appetite generally in the country for the bill. The likes of Sam George and the Honorable Sam George, or the Honorable Dapamekpo, and the rest are leading. I believe that if it comes to a vote, it is likely to be passed. So the information that drove the election, the quality of information driving the election
from both sides,
from both sides, completely unacceptable. Irresponsible on the part of the MPP, irresponsible on the part of the NDC. Now, that having been settled, the violence. I've already commended the police for how they handled the thing. We were told that they went there with 800 or so men and women.
Of the newspaper
exactly. And the IGP Dampare did a fantastic job in terms of handling, because of the closeness of the election. I mean,
this was a very crucial by
exactly. So it could have degenerated. Of course, he gave a directive that the Honorable Dapamekpo thought was unconstitutional in nature, because he had said that bodyguards of MPs should hand over their weapons. And the Honorable Dapamekpo made a very persuasive argument that by giving out that directive to bodyguards of MPs to hand over their weapons, these police officers, he was in effect varying the terms and conditions of members of parliament. And the constitution is clear that you cannot just get up and do that. So I'm persuaded to a large extent by the argument that, look, the IGP ought to have handled that in an entirely different way. Okay. Except to say that, look, we have also seen some isolated cases of violence. Reports that a number of people were beaten as a result of what happened yesterday, the elections and all of that. These are things we do not need in our democracy. You don't need to go and beat up somebody because he decides to vote NDC or MPP. You don't have to go and slap somebody at a polling station because you believe that that person ought not, vote at the election. If you disagree with his political view, go and vote otherwise. You don't have to punch the person in the face. You don't have to attack party leaders. The people who did these kinds of things, they have got to be found by the police, because you had 800 people there. Now, 800, if we had 99 polling stations or so in the constituency, and you divide that by 800, you should have a significant number of, police officers manning the various, polling stations. Mm-hmm. And with some numbers actually in town, making sure that everything went on smoothly. So I am highly disappointed that 800 men and women went into that town and some of these things went. Of course, these things are associated with elections generally. But I would expect that the people responsible for these isolated cases of violence will be found. They will be prosecuted in a court of law, and the judges would decide the law and put them away where the evidence supports they are breaking the law. And then, Nathan, the question of vote buying. Look, it is so embarrassing, that the NDC and the MPP side have accused each other of vote buying.
But that was to be expected. That nobody, in some of these settings, the accusations will fly across.
Yeah, you see, it is one thing accusing your friend of doing something. It is another thing proving it, right? All kinds of claims have been made. In fact, in the Kumeu by-election, similar claims were made. In fact, at that time, the claim was that it was the MPP side, the MPP people who were buying the votes in that constituency. But not a single person went to the OSP or the police with evidence, at least if there's one, I've not seen that report yet, that, we recorded Asimesi handing over 100 Ghana cedis or 200 Ghana cedis to person A or person B. And this is the videotape. This is the confession of the person who took the money. And therefore, special prosecutor, please, are you minded to look into this matter? Look into it. We just hear in the public domain, in media interviews, in social media postings, claims of vote buying in our elections without people proving the same. I think that if people see others breaking the law in a way as to undermine the integrity of our elections, the integrity of our democracy, they have a constitutional and legal duty imposed upon them to make reports to the police or the lawful agencies of state to look into these matters. It is disappointing that these things get left in the realm of allegations and counter allegations and nothing gets to happen as a result, Nathan.
So that's the lowdown from Asin North. Yesterday they had their by-elections. Guy, thank you very much for those comments. We'll try and go through. Some comments have come in on the text and WhatsApp number. But remember, at 9 o'clock, we'll give you today's serving of our Citi Business Month conversation. We are still talking about agribusiness and the agribusiness value chain. Today, we are talking to William Nete, who's with APSA, and he'll share a few nuggets of wisdom there. But Standard Water has been providing water for over 25 years. They are in 11 regions and they are still expanding. And they have water for every kind of setting and environment. If you want sachet water, bottled water, water that you can put on your dispenser, or customized water for all your occasions, talk to Standard Water on 020-055-703 or 0547-334-885. This ad is FDA approved. Old Mutual is 10 years. Join them to celebrate a decade of greatness. Now, they are the first insurance brand to introduce WhatsApp insurance and an annuity package. So talk to them on 0501-579-204. Visit oldmutual.com.gh. Old Mutual do great things every day. Now, when was the last time you heard 10% interest rate, collateral-free loan, and 1 million cedis in the same sentence? Well, if you are a female entrepreneur, young business owner, or you are into agribusiness, or you are a fintech, apps and collaboration with the MasterCard Foundation is offering SME loans at only 10% per annum to help you move your business to the next level. Get a collateral-free loan of up to 1 million cedis from APSA now to grow your business. Visit apsa.com.gh or get to the nearest APSA branch or visit the APSA SME project office at Rage in Accra. That's Africanacity. That is APSA. Now, if you want a British degree from a world-class uni at a fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University Ghana. Here in Accra, you experience a diverse student community, vibrant campus life, and a 50% scholarship to support your study. Lancaster University provides you with world-class education that creates endless opportunities globally. Call them on 0302218989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. And admissions are currently open for their October intake. Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa. All right, let's take a few comments, Richard, and then we'll take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll get into our Citi Business Month conversation for the morning.
Okay, this one says, you want to read them?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one says, good morning, Nathan. Congratulations to the good people of Asin North. They defied all odds. It's not defied all odds. And they have stood their grounds and given a clear meaning to what is known as democracy. Thank you, the people of Asin North. Jones Adoboy sending in that one from La. Nathan, please, will the people of Asin North hold another by-election in case James Jachikwesin loses the criminal case at the High Court?
He's asking a question, Richard. Me, I'm not the legal person.
Okay. That one is coming in from Paco. So, yes, speaking hypothetically, and I'm not making any comment that is prejudicial. If the court decides, in its own wisdom, that the evidence supports the charge, and they put him away, and he decides not to appeal, it would mean that
They will have to.
exactly, because they okay, and let me just explain something I said earlier. You know, I spoke about the president's comment.
Yes.
Look, in Parliament during the days of the guy from Kranza North, what's his name?
Who was this? The one who
was jailed in the US.
Amwatin.
Yeah, the Honorable Amwatin. When he was arrested, the NDC made a lot of noise. They called for his removal. They should do by-election, blah, blah, allegations. All kinds of things were said because they said he was being prosecuted for cocaine, right? The official position of the NDC, and which was the MPP, which was supported by almost all of them in Parliament, that the Constitution, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, member of Parliament at the time, if my memory serves me correctly, of Ghana, talks about what? Innocence until proven guilty.
Yeah.
So even though he was arrested in the US on charges of possessing narcotic drug, we cannot invalidate the constitutional provisions, defile them, or desecrate them by removing him from office. So he should stay there in the US, prosecute his case, wait until a determination was made. So if the president knew this, it's unfortunate that he would have been making the statements he made in Asin North. So yes, if a decision is made that he is to be put away, and barring an appeal or a positive determination of the same, then the seat becomes vacant again, and then there will be need for another by-election. But that depends on when that determination is made. Right. Because the law is that 6 months or so to an election or so, if my memory serves me correctly, you can't hold a by-election, even if vacancy occurs as a result of death or matters like the one involving Jachi Kwesi. Thank you so much, Richard Sky, for your solid legal opinions, explanation, and insights. It is very clear to me, and also the overwhelming majority of the inhabitants of Ghana, that all of Akufo-Addo's so-called pro-human rights position is incorrectability, and communities, they are all fake. The president has demonstrated beyond doubt that he is excellent at, getting people to do A, B, C, D for him. You say in that text. Well, I'm not sure about the use of the language fake. He has solid credentials in human rights, and nobody can question that. The law courts are there for you to read the records. This one says, "Hi Nathan, can Richard help me understand the difference between Mr. Kwesi's case and that of Adamu Sakande?" Thank you. This is coming in from Niado in Amanfru. Okay, so there's a clear difference. The facts are not the same. Although in both cases, the issues were about holding on to. In the Adamu case, if my memory serves me correctly, the issue was that he was still even holding on. So he did not even disclose the dual nationality, right? Even when he was sitting in Parliament, he still had his British passport. Like, so you have British passport. You were elected into Parliament. Mm-hmm. You had claimed at the time you were filing that
I had no such.
Yeah, and yet you sit in Parliament with that. You understand? So first it started with this. What's the name of the guy? The cattle. Yeah, Sumaila Bill, and Yari Gamata, and all of that. So the case is substantially different, because in the present case, Jachi Kwesi, he actually began the process of renunciation, right? And it would seem that he took it for granted that because he had started the process, he had renounced. But as the Supreme Court explained, it is a process.
So the process needed to be completed.
It only terminates when a certificate is issued as proof of your renunciation. So that is what the lawyers would have to, whether there was criminal intent on the part of Jachi Kwesi, it's a matter of law, and arguments would have to be made to support whether or not he had the intention. So in law, they say that you need a mens rea to coincide properly with the actus reus. So yes, the act of
Itself.
offending, breaking the law.
And then we need to establish whether
The guilty mind.
Yes.
In breaking the law, did you intend to achieve a certain result? So those are matters that the courts would have to deal with, and I believe that the lawyers from both sides, the Attorney General's Department and the lawyers for Jachi Question, they have the competence to deal with those. So there is a difference, but the fundamental issue is the two of them have something to do with dual nationality, and basically that's it. And this one said, "Good morning, Nathan and Sky. I like to hear Richard Sky's views on the president's comments." Yes, I've already made some comments on that already. This one said, "Good morning, team. Richard, please save your breath, because the lies sell faster than the truth. If the truth sells like the MPP would be in power now." This one is coming in from Felix in Lashibi, who says, "Happy Salah." This one says, "Good morning to you. By-elections are supposed to take the same pattern, procedure, rule, or the same formality as any general election. That our elections that have been conducted so far after we have embraced the 1992 Constitution to practice free and fair elections, where citizens within our jurisdiction are supposed to come out openly, freely, and without any fear or intimidation from any political party to decide who to vote for by the ballot box process."
Okay.
My point is that the practice or the act of vandalism, the battle of influencing or introducing money to the voting community during election day, is sending a very wrong signal about us to the international community, and also presenting a very wrong perception about us as citizens. But I think the act of vandalism and influencing our voting process with money is not a good thing, and we should desist from that. Love, not hate. Name is Aaron Babako Kokomisa in Accra.
So listening to the Citi Breakfast Show, we'll take a very quick break. When we come back, we'll give you today's edition of our Citi Business Month conversation. We are speaking with William Netty on agribusiness and the agribusiness value chain. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Business today can be overwhelming. That's why you should partner with Carl Bank Business Banking to get the support you need.
Carl Bank Business Banking offers small and medium enterprises a wide range of strategic solutions to support your business efforts. Get financing to improve cash flow, funding for import and clearing of goods, invoice discounting, and funds for local purchase orders to keep your business going and growing. You also get to enjoy the benefits of CalPay, giving thousands of Carl Bank customers access to your products and services right from their mobile devices. There's a solution for every business with CalBank Business Banking. Call CalBank and get support today.
CalBank, forward together.
Daddy's back! And then your boy be.
Hey, no one here.
Chewing time! Your boy be.
Bibi so nature. What's about you be?
Ready.
There is a new biscuit in town. From an appeal. Ayaba biscuit.
We be biscuit.
Okay, now it's number from an appeal.
It's tasty and crunchy.
Bibi biscuit. Oh yeah, corner your dog red. Nazaria. It's about there.
It's
grow. Fuck a snack no. No for 7 or party nas. No what about to grow. Brother, what's to buy a board or trot ronuma? Chibi biscuit to the beer. 4.1. You want different sizes so. No bussa the form there. And 4/4. And why you be biscuit? 0266 830003 050 68 51927. And gratuit FDA. Apenado. Chibi biscuit.
It's grow.
Jimmy D, there's no need to stand in line to get your money. Don't waste your time waiting for the bank to be open. With ZPay Mobile Money, you can redeem your MoneyGram cash pickup token directly into your ZPay Mobile Money wallet. And now, every first-time user gets 10 Ghana cedis plus airtime as a welcome bonus. Access your money whenever, wherever. Just dial *270# and select option 7 for MoneyGram. Jimmy D, boundless possibilities. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, are you worried about your parties, weddings, hangouts, on what drink to enjoy for the celebration? Or you're worried about how to celebrate your friends and family during that special occasion? Bigo. Now that is Bigo! With Bigo, no wahala for the occasion. They made it for everyone to enjoy and have the ideal celebration. Bigo, the soft drinks that comes in 16 and 20 in a pack. Hey, Charlie, that is Bigo. A lot to go around in various packs. It's refreshing and good quality. Now that is Bigo. Ah, the taste is Bigo. Another quality product from Twillium Industries Limited. This advert is FDA approved. Bigo.
The decision-making power of owners of a family business is profound. Therefore, the need for family business governance as a key strategy for continuity. Ravens Consulting GH presents Africa Family Business Summit 2023 with the theme Family Business Governance, a key strategy for continuity. The date is on 29th and 30th June 2023. Speakers for this year's summit includes Mrs. Audrey Jo Ezibo, Professor Martin Rowe, and many other speakers. Then your convener, Dr. Dennis Oteng. Venue, Kipisi Gold Coast City Hotel, Accra, Ghana. Time, 3 p.m. for day 1 and 8 a.m. for day 2. To register, call 0202-712-647 or visit our website www.ravens-consulting.com/AFBS/ It's Africa Family Business Summit 2023. Partners, SEBS Africa, Randem, IOD Ghana. Other events, sponsors, La Bianca, GDC, Henley and Partners, Legacy Institute of Family Business, KED Wealth. This event is powered by Ravens Consulting GH.
Charlie, that be the sound you hear when things make hot. I'm sure this is not battery, just cash flow. Laja no D. It is safe to say we are all facing challenging times. We are all wondering how we are going to lighten our financial burdens. Nowhere cool. But don't worry, with a little help from your trusted bank, Societe Generale Ghana, be fine. Societe Generale Ghana is making all its customers happy with the Yatiso Loans promo. In fact, SG Ghana customers and even non-customers who are on the controller and accountant general payroll can enjoy access to our amazing discounted loans. Don't waste time. Get your loan today. Step into a branch or call 0302-214-314 to get the ball rolling. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, promotion ends on 7th August 2023. Societe Generale Ghana. The future is you.
You worry, just be happy.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Welcome to another edition of our on-air series for the Citi Business Festival. We are in our final week, and this week is focused on agric and agribusiness, which is one of our favorites on Citi. Well, our partners for the Business Festival are APSA, and for this week, our partner is the unit that deals with agric and agribusiness. The head of that unit is called William Nete. He's joined us again to talk about the agricultural sector, its growing importance for our financial institutions, the agric value chain, what it means, the opportunities within the value chain, and how businesses can also position themselves to attract the right kind of money so they can move the agric business to the next level. William, good to see you.
Good to see you, Bernard. How are you?
I'm fine. You are soldiering on. You are soldiering on in the agric section of a big bank. How is it going?
It is going very well, Bernard. It has been very good. We have put out a lot over the past few weeks, and I'm sure my colleagues have been here to mention APSA is at the forefront of sharing in the growth of our people and our businesses, and I think that it is going very well.
Your SME colleagues, Audrey and Co, have been very excited about what their 1 million, 10% interest is doing. So SMEs generally seem to be happy, but they mentioned agribusiness. So I noticed they mentioned women-run businesses, people under 35. They mentioned fintechs, and they mentioned agribusiness, which I'm sure makes you very happy.
It is. It's very exciting. In fact, agribusiness is the lead. we really pushed for this because we realized that when it comes to agribusiness, lending or borrowing at the normal interest rate was not feasible. I mean, when you look at all the challenges that are, faced by our farmers, we needed to do something. So we were intentional in going to look for partners who would support us. And we've mentioned so many of our partners before in the area of supporting us to provide training, in the area of lending, in the area of even providing some risk mitigation and all of those. So we were really intentional. But also we realized that the youth, the women who are at a disadvantage need to be supported. And that's why we went for that.
Let's talk about agribusiness and the value chain. The way I see it is, agric is like the core. Agribusiness is around. But I think the value chain stretches it from end to end. Is that how I should look at it?
Yeah, the value chain is the whole process of, putting activities that are within a sector that produces from production to the consumer. And so all the activities along the chain are involved in this. When you talk about agribusiness, from the word go, this is taken into consideration when looking for financing, when looking for information. All these things form part of the value chain. And I think that it is critical. All of us are part of the agri-value chain because we are either producing, we are either a consumer one way or the other. And so we all have to help to make it work. When you look at the value chain, it starts from the input dealer who would deal with the basic things like the seed, the fertilizer, the mechanization, and then it will be passed on to a producer who is a farmer or farmer association, and then they would produce, and then after that they would pass it on. I mean, within our settings, aggregators play a major part, and because we have a lot of smallholders, we need these aggregators to go around and then mop up all from the 1 acre farmers and make sure that they are all together, and then that can be passed on to maybe a processor or an exporter, and then it goes to the final consumer.
So that's actually 5 distinct areas. So input dealers, the producer itself, so the inputs, which is the pre-production.
Yeah.
There's production.
Yeah.
Then there's aggregation. Yeah. Then could there also be transportation?
Yes. So transportation, yes, is part of aggregation because once you aggregate, you have to transport.
Yes.
But also there are other links to the main chain which includes like the financial institutions, information, the media, research, marketing. All those things feed into this chain, and they are really important, and we need to really look at them because they are the fuel that keeps the value chain running.
And then there's also the production, and then of course the consumption.
Yeah.
When I look at the input dealer, seed, fertilizer, mechanization, how big is this area and how fast is it growing? I ask this because I've heard of a couple of fertilizer companies that have been set up. I think the president commissioned a few in the past couple of years, and there are a lot more large fertilizer companies coming in. I also know that there's a big discussion about seeds and getting sustainable seeds. Just give me an insight into how big these are and whether there are even enough local ones. Because the sense I get is a lot of these companies are also foreign. So sometimes they get money from outside before they come in. So the local finance doesn't really cater to their needs. Just your general thoughts on that.
Right. So, Bernard, they are quite big. They are both local and foreign. Like you said, the foreign usually have financing from outside, so not much. But they also contribute significantly to the value chain. What that means is that for us, where do we position ourselves to receive some of these inputs that are being brought, whether it's brought by a local company or a foreign company? They come in and then bring in these fertilizer and inputs, and then they are given to farmers. There are schemes that have been created out of this that put our farmers in a very good position. I mean, if you are a farmer or you are a number of farmers in an area and you put yourselves together and you approach any of these input dealers, you are you are likely to get some support. And that is where the value chain issue becomes very critical, because then if you're a single farmer, you have to go and buy maybe 4 bags for your acre land. But if you put yourselves together, you can then go and negotiate. They are able to then give you credit. So they themselves offer credit, and that is where the credit begins to start. For us as the financial institutions, it creates opportunity for us. We do LCs for these, input dealers when they need to import. We do financing. Some of them go ahead and finance some of the farmers, and we finance them as well. So there's a great opportunity. In fact, if you look at our portfolio at ABSA, you realize that a big chunk of our agri
lending,
lending goes to input.
Wow.
Input.
Will the pre-production also include irrigation? And is irrigation something that can or should attract finance? I ask this because, look, rain-fed agriculture is not going to take us anywhere. So generally, you should see irrigation as a core part of the process. I don't see a lot of... I don't understand the business of irrigation. My guess is that if you are doing irrigation, you are probably producing pumps, you are producing sprinklers, and you are producing things that can transport water. I don't know whether any of them have come up and whether that's an area that a greenfield should be looking at. What are your thoughts?
Well, not necessarily it's greenfield, but there are some that are also in the system that are producing some. They may not produce the equipment like the pumps and stuff, but they produce the tubes that carry the water and all of those, and those are very essential in the development of the production itself. So, yes, there are quite a bit. It's an area we need to look at where we begin to model some of these things and begin to, develop them so that we can have all year round farming. There are a few businesses, agribusinesses, that are using irrigation effectively, and more so with climate change coming in, people are beginning to look at it more and more. And so people do approach us for financing into that area.
We are talking about financing within the agribusiness value chain. My guest is the head of agribusiness at ABSA, William Nete. We're just going through the pre-production, production, processing, distribution, and the retail. Do you lend to cooperatives? And what's the difference between lending to an individual farmer, an association, versus a cooperative?
Thank you, Bernard. And for us, as we have put our new brand proposition, we are empowering Africa's tomorrow together, one story at a time. And we are taking the story one at a time. So we deal with everybody along the value chain. We look at smallholder farmers, we look at large, farmers, we look at associations, but also we have to be, strategic in positioning some of these things. Like I mentioned to you, when you deal with the value chain, you want to see what would be the most effective way of reaching out to these. So if it's an individual farmer, has he done, what is the acreage that he's doing? Is it large enough? Does he have the capacity? You look at all of those in terms of, before you are able to make a decision on that. When you look at the smaller ones, you find that it will be difficult to even be able to reach them at their very local locations. So what you can do, or what we do, is to work with various actors within the value chain. You can get an aggregator, you can get an input dealer, you can get a processor within the locality who has closer link with these farmers, and then we support them. So we have supported a number of aggregators who go around, organize these farmers. Sometimes we do visits along with them. They organize them, speak to them, what the quality and the quantities that they'll be needing over the next few months. And then with that, we are able to support them. And then the support is trickled down to these smallholder farmers. But we keep an eye on it because our partners are also interested in those information.
Now, let's come to the processing side. I wanted to ask about mills, rice mills in particular, because, Planting for Food and Jobs focus on the grains. So rice, maize, sorghum. And when I speak to farmers, the general point is about milling capacity. What are your thoughts about that? And in terms of, is there opportunity there? Are you seeing demand from the millers? Because if you want to develop the rice value chain, apart from production, if the milling capacity is big, then more rice can be milled, and then we can have the rice in the form we want. So I feel like milling is a key part of the value chain that must be targeted. But what's the issue with mills? Is it that they are too expensive to build? Is it that there isn't enough rice coming in? Is it that they cannot be maintained? Is it that there's too much imported rice and therefore people don't want to mill? What are your issues? What are the issues with mills?
Right. So the mills are also part of the rice value chain. So when we talk about value chain, we've talked about it generally, but we also have crops and then their value chain. So the mill forms a part of the rice value chain, and it's important because once the rice is produced, it gets dried, and then it's milled. We have not come to that point where we have capacity enough, okay, to mill this rice. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes once it's time for milling, it becomes a problem. You would have farmers complain that mills are, there aren't sufficient mills to do those jobs. So we don't have enough.
So there's potential for more. There's potential for more.
There's potential for more. I mean, if you look around, and sometimes the issues that we've had is the local mills, the smaller mills, also do not have the capacity financially to be able to mop up the rice enough at the time when it is in season, and so then it becomes the glut is created. And
so it means that if I came to you with a proposal for financing a mill, you would want to see location in terms of whether there's enough rice around.
Exactly, Ben.
You would want to see capacity and scale, so that I will put the mill to work throughout the period, so I can have enough cash flow to pay.
Exactly the point.
And then also the type of mill I'm bringing, so that it doesn't break down every week. Type of. Those are some of the questions you should be asking.
Definitely. We will visit the mill. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, we were in Suchari to visit a mill that, produce local rice. Mm-hmm. And we are very intentional about supporting local businesses. And so under our partnership SME loan at 10% that we are offering, it's a key thing to support local businesses to scale.
Wonderful. Let's talk about food processing and packaging generally. When I drive on the motorway, I see a lot of companies. How fast is that area developing? And is it core agric for you? So people are doing biscuits, people are doing fruits that they dry, people are doing, a lot of these are local now. Yeah. When you are examining the agric value chain and looking at your lendings, do you consider these food processing and food packaging companies as part of your agribusiness portfolio?
Bernard, interesting you mentioned that, because we've had discussions recently on packaging, and we've talked to our partners about it and told them that, look, it's a very key area that we need to look at. I mean, the food that we eat, presentation forms a major part. When you go to a hotel, you may have to pay maybe 3 times what you pay if you bought it somewhere else. It's just about the presentation and the packaging. And we think that has to be considered. And so we've had some discussions on them. So packaging is key, because that is what will also take what the farmers have done, add value to it, and then present it in a way that will cause the value to increase. We are lending into those areas. We look at it as a very key part of the value chain, and that is what it will take us over the borders. It will take us into West Africa. It will take us into Europe. Those who are selling into Europe as non-traditional exports and all those, they need to package it to the taste of the market. Today, what I want to push across is that the market drives the value chain. The market is the one who tells you what you should produce, how you should produce it, and then I'll take it. So if you don't produce to meet the needs of the market, we are wasting our time. And that is one of the things we need to do.
We're talking to William Nete of ABSA. He's head of agribusiness. We're discussing financing within the agri value chain. We'll come back and speak about specific types of finance available for different parts of the value chain, where he will delve into some of their solutions and some interesting names they call those products. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
The biggest business festival in Ghana is on. Mark your calendars this June as we bring you the Citi Business Festival 2023. The running theme for this year's festival is Make It Ghana. It's going to be a month-long conversation on how to grow, improve, and expand your business with seasoned industry experts. Join the weekly business forum every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. live on Citi TV for discussions on various thematic areas each week, beginning with Week 1, Reimagining the Digital Economy. Week 2, Building Resilient SME Brands. Week 3, the changing phase of the Ghanaian retail market. And Week 4, Understanding and Leveraging Agribusiness Value Chains. Also, tune in every weekday at 9:05 a.m. for the Citi Business Festival on-air series on the Citi Breakfast Show on 97.3 Citi FM to acquire the information you need to kickstart and strengthen your business. There will be a lesson for every business on the Citi Business Festival 2023 this June, only on Citi TV, 97.3 Citi FM, citibusinessnews.com, and on CNR Digital. The Citi Business Festival 2023 is powered by Citi TV and Citi FM in partnership with APSA and is proudly sponsored by MTN Momo, MTN Business, and ZPay with support from Gesso.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Welcome back. This is our on-air series, Citi Business Festival 2023, and we're discussing agric and agribusiness this week. My guest is William Nete, head of agribusiness at APSA. He's given us a very interesting presentation so far: pre-production, seed suppliers, fertilizer, irrigation, production, farmers, associations, cooperatives, processing, mills, food processing, food packaging. Let's talk about the other two. Distribution. You said that's also a big area. By that, you're talking about what? Trading companies and what?
And logistics. Moving business, the agribusiness products around.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is also very key for us. How once the thing is produced, if they are not able to move it, then it becomes a challenge. So we, under products that we offer, do what we call commercial asset financing, where we provide financing for trucks, for moving vehicles to be able to move these produce from one place to the other. And we have been following up, and that is causing a lot of growth in the areas that we want to see, especially with like I mentioned, the aggregators. Once they've piled it on, they need to move it and quickly. And so those are areas that we really want.
So what type of finance, whilst we are here, will fit a company within a distribution aspect of the value chain?
We'll look at a commercial asset finance. So a commercial asset finance would be basically for you to get equipment or vehicles, let me put it, vehicles to be able to move the produce. You would come in with your financials, we would assess it, and we are able to give you up to 3 years for you to pay back. Even for some equipment, we are able to go up to 5 years, and then you'll be able to clear it. But that also helps in moving commodities around.
So commercial asset finance. Let's go back to processing. We talked about mills, food processing companies, and packaging companies. What kind of finance would typically work for such companies?
For them, we'll do working capital. Okay, mainly working capital, because they are. For some of them, they have the equipment. If they need equipment replacement, we'll still do the commercial asset financing for them. But if mainly to be working capital, where they need to buy packaging materials, where they need to buy raw materials from the farmers, so on a regular basis, and usually we'll put in a line where if they produce and it will take them, let's say, 30 days or 50 days to sell, we model the repayment along those lines. So the financing is given, say that, okay, you are buying maize, you are buying soya, you are buying sorghum, you process it, you sell it, it will take you another maybe 14 days for repayment. And so we give you up to maybe 45 days, 60 days for you to turn the production around and then bring the money. Then you come over and take it again. So it's a working capital. We also do the revolver that allows you to be turning the money around quite often.
So when you are discussing various types of lending, the difference will be the structuring, and the structuring would be how it is sort of dispersed and how it is paid back.
Yes, and over the cycle that your business runs. So we will not give you a loan, and if the cycle is 60 days for the money to come back, we say we'll pay on a monthly basis. That would mean that we are setting you up for trouble. So we'll look at the cycles that you run. Some are 90 days. It takes 90 days to go to the farmers, mobilize, bring it, clean it, package it, send it out, and then the payment is sent to the consumer or the final buyer, and then repayment comes in. That will take some time, and then we model it as such.
So that's the difference. So working capital for most processing, commercial asset finance for distribution companies typically, but it's not exclusive.
It's not.
What about the production guys, the farmers, the associations, and the cooperatives? What kind of facilities would be useful there?
Same as we will do the commercial asset financing for those who want to buy tractors, who want to buy shellers, who want to buy small equipment. And then we'll also do the working capital where they will use it to buy seed, fertilizer, and chemicals to spray their farms.
But do you work there? So, for example, I plant rice. I don't know how long rice takes to mature.
3 months.
3 months, right? So, or let's say I go for maize seeds and I buy, and you give me a loan. You will look at the production cycle, knowing when I would have sold it for my payment to kick in. That's what you're telling me.
Definitely, Bernard. We'll look at it, and it's a very important part of what we do in the restructuring. And we need to understand the crop. So for us, we provide training to relationship managers and all those who are involved in agribusiness so that we understand the cycles, we understand how this thing works. But we would look at when production will start, pre-production activities, when production itself will start, and then when you are to harvest. Even at the time of harvest, for some of the grains, you need time for it to dry. So we put all those into perspective before repayment starts. I must say that we want to see growth in the people we work with, and that is why again I'm mentioning how we are leveraged on partnerships, so that we can reach to these people at a good rate, so that they will also be able to do business and some good income on what they do.
So you see, I'm working my way backwards. I'll come back to retail at the end, but I'm working my way. You said the market is the driver of the value chain, so I've left that for the end. Pre-production, seed supplier, fertilizer suppliers, what kind of facilities would they typically qualify for?
Okay. So like I mentioned, they are quite big. So for some of them, they would do LCs where they would use that to import fertilizers or seed or whatever they have to. They have linked businesses across the world that they buy from. This can be given to them on credit, and so within the credit period, we raise an LC. By the time they are ready to pay, or they are ready to pay, they would have built up some cash, and then the payment is done. This allows them to also have some working capital on their side in their business. But we also do working capital for them in terms of what they would do locally. They will take a facility to buy some more from others who will not offer them LCs. They will buy from other local companies. And so, a variety of trade loans are made available to these businesses.
It's still the Citi Business Festival on a series discussing the agri and agribusiness value chain. We're talking financing with William Nete of Absa Bank, discussing the nuances of the agribusiness. Now, you said that the market drives the value chain. What did you mean by that?
Bernard, I said so because, everything we do has to, for agri, has to be eaten or utilized, okay? And the end buyer is the market. They drive whatever we do. So whether we do, edible crops, we do the rice, the maize, and then the soya, we do the vegetables, we do the fruits and all that. The end buyer determines what they want to eat. If we produce something that do not meet their specifications, they will reject it. And they will reject it whether locally or foreign. And so in terms of presenting ourselves, we need to introduce innovations that would meet the needs of these buyers. If we are producing rice locally, and the people are saying that we are not eating local rice because the variety you are producing is not what we know, then we need to change. We need to find resources and research and make sure that we are turning it around and making sure that people are having what they want. And I've always said that Ghanaians do not want to eat foreign rice. Ghanaians want to eat quality rice and,
whether it's foreign
or local.
It's the quality they want.
It's the quality they want and the affordability. So if we are able to put these in place, I don't think Ghanaians will just say, oh, we want to foreign rice for the sake of saying we want foreign rice. So we need to put together what the market needs. Add research, add innovation, and add, quality service that would meet the needs of market. And I think that will make a lot of progress.
So there are wholesalers, there are retailers, and then there are export companies. Where do you see potential, and where any examples of levels of this retail that is attracting finance from your end?
Let me start from the export. I think that we all know the situation we find ourselves in currently.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we can produce enough, and I've always said, why don't we produce enough to feed ourselves and be able to export? And that would it would solve a lot of our problems. So export, I think, has a lot of potential. Just that it has to be done right. And the right people have to be involved. We have seen some challenges when people have exported from here. The export goes, and then there are challenges. It's rejected. Issues are raised with it. It causes losses. I don't think that is what works. But if there are companies that are exporting, local companies, foreign companies that are exporting and bringing us the foreign exchange, I think that is key. For the wholesalers, they would go out there and buy, in bulk quantities for onward sale to processors or for export or for other things. And we also make funds available to them. And there's opportunity because the export market is growing. The local market is also growing. And for the retail, the retail people turn out to be those who are buying also from small holder farmers. And we also make funds available to them so that we can mop up what is on the ground. A lot of production. I think we have to be grateful to God. This year it has rained quite okay as compared to previous years. And I hope that we have produced sufficiently.
I wonder whether the rain is distributed in the way the farmers want, because some, the rains are falling in Accra and other places, but sometimes the timing of the rain affects. And also the other point is, if I came to you as an agribusiness, depending on rain, I'm sure you say, no, you need to have an irrigation scheme worked in, particularly for certain kinds of crops like vegetables, where you cannot depend on the rain. Yes, for some crops, the rain can work, but when I'm doing cabbage, I'm doing lettuce, I'm doing onions, sweet pepper, and I'm doing tomatoes, I'm sure you would insist that there should be some irrigation, should there not be?
We do look at the crops and what what the requirements are. And like you said, yes, there are some crops that would need the water consistently. So these have to be available. Even when it's raining, there are times there are dry spells, so we need to have them. So I agree with you. I think that there are also some crops. In fact, for us, what we have done over the years, even in the north, have been more of the cereals and then And we have seen a lot of progress. For some of them, there are rain failures and other things, and that is where we are pushing for innovation in the area of adding irrigation to what they do. And
so, is this your 10% for? Because what I was told was that it's a specialized product that you're doing with MasterCard and other partners. So that's fine.
MasterCard Foundation.
Foundation, yes. So, if I'm an agribusiness, I don't need to be below 35. I qualify. Is that what it is? Just explain the nuances there for me.
So for agribusiness, you qualify because we want
across the value chain.
Across the value chain, for agribusiness, you qualify.
And this is 10%. How long are you going to be doing this? Because it's much lower than the rate that prevails on even your normal bank lending, and for other banks.
Yes.
10%. I mean, globally, you can say 10%. Is not that low, but for Ghana, 10% is low.
It's really low.
Yeah,
it's really low. When you look at where GNRL is sitting at, around 26 thereabouts, it's really low.
And that's 10% per annum.
Per annum,
not per month.
Yes, and we've received support from Bank of Ghana, from various actors within the thing. But like I said earlier, we were very intentional that agri is a major part. If you look at contribution to agri over the past few years, we've been below 20%, which was not the case previously, and we need to lift up agri as part of the services that we provide.
What are your final thoughts,
Bernard? My final thoughts are that the opportunities are great for Ghanaians, and we need to jump in there. Like I mentioned, the market is open and it's ready for investment.
Mm-hmm.
And we as a bank, like I said, going back to our brand proposition, that we are empowering Africa's tomorrow together, one story at a time. And we want to pull everybody along, whether you're in the village, whether you're in the city, whether you are starting. I mean, when we look at unsecured lending, which is, the under the 10%, we want you to begin to build some relationship with us over a period, and then we are able to support you. So I think that it's a very exciting time. We are welcoming everybody to come along, and we'll grow together.
William Nete is the head of agribusiness at ABSA, speaking to us on our on-air series for the Citi Business Festival, looking at agribusiness value chain and finance. This program is brought to you in partnership with ABSA Bank, with support from MTN Business and Momo, Gersal, and ZPay. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Out of over 10 million Ghanaians employed, only 1.9 million are actively contributing to SNIT. For most people, their retirement plan is either their children or savings. What if your child is unable to care for you? Long life depletes your savings, or you suffer permanent disability. Financial support from loved ones in your old age is a blessing, but you should not rely solely on them. Whether you're a fashion designer, an online entrepreneur, a lawyer, or a business owner, today, life is good, but tomorrow may be different. Register with SNIT and sign up for SEED for old age pension, invalidity pension, and survivor's lump sum benefit for your nominated dependents. Take control of your future. Ayo Udachio, Fano Pass now. Dial *711*9# to pay your contributions. Contact SNIT on 0302 611 622 or on socials at SNIT Ghana. SNIT, we deliver on our promise. T's and C's apply.
SSNIT.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
This is a bank, First Atlantic Bank, a shining purple star to brighten up my day. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different services all day long. First Atlantic Bank, and it feels so cool. I know this is where I belong. Come on, everybody, this is a bank like no other. First Atlantic Bank. Follow me, let's go now. Let's go, let's bank. This is a bank like no other. Let's bank. This is a bank like no other. First Atlantic Bank.
First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different.
If you want a British degree from a world-class university at a fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University Ghana right here in Accra. With a diverse student community, vibrant campus life, and 50% scholarship to support your study, Lancaster University Ghana provides you with a world-class education that creates endless opportunities globally. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply to join Lancaster University Ghana, where learners become leaders. Admissions are currently open for our October 2023 intake. Apply now for our foundation and undergraduate programs. For more information, contact us on +233 030 221 8989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
I am Florence Japan, owner of Flora Ama Enterprise. We deal in industrial chemicals for making soaps, shower gel, hair conditions, and skin products. I bank with AFSA. My relationship manager introduced me to the AFSA Young African Works program, and I attended the training program. During the program, I got a new idea, which helped me develop a new product called Organics. I also secured a loan from them to introduce the new product and grow my business. My fellow entrepreneurs, I encourage you to open an AFSA account. Enjoy the AFSA Young African Works program. It will take your business to the next level.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Welcome back. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. It's 9:51. We'll be wrapping up in a bit. We're learning some great things from William Neti. Tomorrow, we'll be back with another exciting session on the Citi Business Month. On the theme of education, though, I've been joined by our friends from the Presbyterian College of Education. It's in Ekropon. I'm sure lots of people have heard of the Presbyterian College of Education. It's produced all kinds of great people, Ephraim Amu, Professor J.H. Nketia, and all these great people. And so they are marking a very, very important milestone in their life. I have Ralph Ofe Amwa. He's the Dean of Students at the Presbyterian College of Education. And I have Charles Arthur, who's the STS coordinator, also at the Presbyterian College of Education. Gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the Citi Breakfast Show.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right. It's nice to have you here. Let's start off with this milestone that you are celebrating. I'm sure some people do, some people don't know. But what milestone are you celebrating?
175 years of existence.
Wow, 175 years.
175 years.
I see. That's longer than a lot of the educational institutions.
Of course, the first to be in this nation of higher learning. Yes, the first institute of higher learning to be established in this nation.
I see.
Yes.
So that's
1848.
1848.
Yes.
July 3, 18.
Yes. July 1.
July 1.
Yes. 1848.
July 1, 1848.
And if you think about the fact that Legon is currently preparing 75. To celebrate 75 years, and we are a century older than UJ. So you can imagine that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, the school has done great. Like I said, you've produced Ephraim Amu and David Asante, E.A. Boateng, J.H. Nketia. The list is endless. All kinds of great people who have added to this country's history. Wonderful. So how are you marking 175 years? What exactly are you doing to mark this very, very important milestone in your school's history?
Yeah, we have a chain of activities. We commenced over a month ago with a march through the streets of Akropong up to Manfe to announce the commencement of the anniversary. Then we came to do homecoming for Edikamfo. Our past students are called Edikamfo.
Oh, I see.
So they came over for the homecoming. And then we have had a couple of speeches. The last one was held a week ago. So we invite people over to the college to talk. So, and what we have left now, between now and then first, we have the second lecture. I think that was last week, 27th. And then last weekend, 24th, we had a blood donation and health screening. And then yesterday, we were at Combe Hospital, President Hospital in Ebri, to do a donation to the hospital. Tomorrow, we have a musical concert.
I see.
And then Friday, 30th, we have the Founders' Day celebration. And the big day is July 1st, Saturday, and we'll end everything on Sunday with a Thanksgiving service.
What's happening on the 1st of July? What exactly will you be doing that day?
It's we will begin with the exhibition. Yes, we have a lot to show to the world. So we invite everybody to come and have a look at it. Our wares, our books, everything. And so we'll do the exhibition in the morning. Then we go to the Ike Osei Hall. Yes, and start the Deba at 10. Yes, where we're expecting the president of the land, Nana Adodankwe Akufo-Addo, the Presby moderator, Professor J.O.Y. Mante, and then the council chair, then Professor from the Vice Chancellor of UCC with the guest speaker. Is also coming. Then the Omaihene of Ekwapim traditional area. So that will be basically what we'll be doing on Saturday, the exhibition and the Deba.
So that's on the 1st of July.
That's right.
And then the second, you are having
Thanksgiving service.
Yes. And where is that happening?
Same Ike Osei Hall.
I see.
Yes.
I see. That's wonderful. 175 years of producing great people for this country. For somebody who's listening and is an Edikamfo, like you say, and they want to get in touch, how can they get in touch? How can they be part of these interesting activities that you've lined up?
Those who would want to join us there are welcome. They should drive to Akropong and join us, celebrate together. And it will be streamed live too on many social media outlets as well, Facebook and the likes. So they can also, join us there. Those who will not be able to come in person.
I see.
Yes.
I see. Wonderful. So the activities sound really, really, really interesting. Is there any theme, surrounding this 175?
Yes.
Years
the theme
175th anniversary.
175 years of holistic education.
I see.
Honoring our past, celebrating the present, and shaping the future. Yes. Mind you, our theme is transforming for excellence. That is our motto, the college's motto, right? So we are shaping the future, transforming for excellence. And so all put together.
I see. Just finally, for somebody who might not understand what exactly goes on at the college, can you just give us what kind of training you offer, to those who are there?
Wow. This is holistic education, holistic training. It's a teacher training. We train people to become teachers. Yes, but we add other things, There's, I don't know whether it is a cliche or an expression that says Presbyterian discipline. You cannot walk through this college without, having some level of discipline. And that we are very proud of that, and we are very much concerned about that. We don't joke with our, that particular thing. Yes, so we will train you to be a teacher, but a well-disciplined teacher who goes out there not only to go and teach, but to also transform lives.
Wonderful. Final words.
Well, to add to what my brother said, what we mean by holistic education, it's a Presbyterian institution, and then everything we do steeped in the Presbyterian ethos, where we focus on the hand, the mind, and then the heart, so that the individual is trained holistically. And then another leg of the meaning is where we train students who are challenged. So we are the only college that trains hearing impaired and visually impaired students. So when we talk about holistic education,
really holistic.
Yes, it entails a lot.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We wish you the very best as you celebrate 175 years of giving this country holistic education and holistic products. I had Ralph Ofe Amwa, he's Dean of Students at the Presbyterian College of Education, and Charles Arthur, STS Coordinator, also at the Presbyterian College of Education. Gentlemen, wish you the very best and happy 175 years.
Thank you.
Great. Right, just still the Citi Breakfast Show. We are wrapping up, but a few announcements before we go. MTN is saying that if you run a small to medium scale business and you are its owner, they've got SME Plus, which will help you manage all your operational costs in communication. Talk to them on 0244 308 111 or simply dial star 5060 hash to sign up today. Now, if you want a good place to stay, speak to Pearson Properties. They have lovely buildings, and they call it beautiful living spaces that you can trust. Or that's how they describe their living space. Now, you don't need to break the bank to make your dream of owning a home come true, and they're saying so. They have flexible payment plans. Find them at New Achimota. They have a place called the Serenidad, just 10 minutes drive from the New Achimota Mall, or call them on 0553 0155 609 or visit their website pearsonproperties.org. Heritage Christian College is a university set up to provide the missing link in tertiary education. They've got BBA programs, BSc Nursing, Information Technology, Info Security, and BA Theology. They have a mix of other professional courses and media short courses as well. Find them at Amasaman behind the Olympic Stadium or call them on 0202 298 399. Heritage Christian College, a university training compassionate entrepreneurial leaders. If you run a family business, governance is important. That's why on June 29 and 30, be part of the Africa Family Business Summit 2023. It's happening at the Kempinski Gold Coast Hotel. Day 1 starts at 3 p.m., day 2 starts at 8 p.m. To register, call 0202 712 And this event is powered by Ravens Consulting GH. And if you're a business owner, homeowner, and individual seeking personal coverage, Star Assurance has what you need. They are inviting you to their Star Assurance clinic happening at the Marina Mall today. From today till Saturday, it's open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come and have all your concerns addressed, and you walk out with some great knowledge. So see you there. Star Assurance is your solid partner. That's how we end our Citi Breakfast Show for the morning. My name is Nathan Carr. I sat in for Bernard Avle. Richard Delasky joined me. Show produced by Caleb Kuda. Godfred Odum supported us on the technical side of things. Caleb is here with the news at